Second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about...
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
English, mother...
Body, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Let's put a smile on that face.
What's up, film fam, and welcome to the Film Room Podcast. My name's Dion.
My name is Scott.
And today we're talking about the 1993 romantic comedy. I wouldn't even call it like a rom-com, but Groundhog Day.
It's not a rom-com?
I don't know, I guess. I mean, whatever. Well, I guess we can talk more on that. But anyway, if you're new to the show, every week Scott and I talk about a film. We talk about what we don't like, what we didn't like. And at the episode, we always have our award show called The Filmies. And this week was special because we had a poll. So Scott, explain what we did this week with the poll.
Yeah, so we did it. We've done it a couple times. We did it, honestly, now that we've done it for holidays.
Yeah.
And we did it for Halloween, Christmas, and now Valentine's Day on our Instagram. Go check us out if you're not following us on Instagram at the Film Room Pod. We throw up 3 or 4 movies and have you guys vote on which one you want us to do. And this one won the vote this time. The other ones were Past Lives, Nora, and
Her. Past Lives of Nora and Her, and then Groundhog Day, which it was a pretty close between Groundhog Day and Her. It was literally by like 2 votes when I was looking at the actual poll of the actual amounts of people voting. I was like, ooh, it's close. Because I was gonna vote for Her because I like that movie, and then I was like, I don't want to vote for it, and then someone else votes for it, and then it gets tied. So I was like, let me just sit back. So I didn't even vote because I was scared that a tie was gonna come through. Which any movie that got picked, I would have been happy with. I like all those movies, but I think a tie would have been annoying. Where it's like, all right, guys, we're repolling or whatever.
I guess we'd do like a
head-to-head
final, like a showdown or I don't know that, but like the final 2. But I voted for Nora actually.
Yeah, no, I did see that. I checked because, honestly, again, I would have been happy with any movie. I was gonna vote Nora too, but then also when I saw the way that the tide was turning, I was like, Nora's not gonna get it.
No, yeah,
I could see. I didn't realize everyone was gonna jump on Groundhog Day too, and the funny thing is, I almost wasn't gonna put it in because I was like, I like it. I was like, I don't know. Like, I mean, with our fans, we don't know. We kind of we're getting a feel of what people or what kind of movies they're into. So I wasn't sure if people maybe want to do something more newer, if they want to lean towards a classic. People lean towards a classic, which again I have no problem with. But it's just interesting to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure who was gonna win. I kind of thought Nora being new and fresh, and that
exactly.
Maybe people would be interested in that. And with the Oscar noms coming out, maybe has growing this momentum and people would be interested. But nobody really gave a shit for Nora. And Past Lives, I'm not really surprised didn't get a ton of votes just because it's such a small movie. I know you and I like it a lot, and we'll eventually do it on the podcast for sure. And actually, there's a pretty cool story it's kind of pretty big in the lore of the Film Room Podcast. And when we get to that episode, I'll tell the
true.
story.
Yeah. For a second, I thought you were talking about Groundhog Day. I was like, really? I don't remember this lore. Okay, yeah, Past Lives. Okay, yeah.
But it's such a small movie that I don't think a lot of people have seen it.
No, that's fair. It is very like a film bro or film girl kind of film. But do you know what the crazy thing is? That Groundhog Day was actually released on February 12th, and that's when this episode is dropping.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, the big galaxy brain. That's what our fans knew that actually. That's why they're like, oh, this is gonna drop on a Wednesday. Perfect. Yeah. That's crazy though. I realized I was like, oh, this is 100. I guess this was a Valentine's Day movie. I didn't really. And I guess now we can get into it. I didn't really look at it as like a rom-com because I don't know, when I think of like rom-coms, I feel like this movie feels more so it's very single on like on him, and then like the relationship between him and Rita I feel like comes a little bit later, versus like a rom-com I feel like that's like the driving force. It doesn't feel like that's his driving force throughout the movie.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but at the same time I feel like it kind of does follow the archetype of a rom-com where like you have a lot of times it's the guy and he doesn't like the girl, or he's like an asshole, or he and he is a super negative dude. I don't know if I'd really call him well, he kind of is an asshole, but like but yeah, so you have this guy and then the girl who's like the nice girl, and then he's he's not being nice to her or whatever, and he's doing all this dumb shit on the side, and then eventually he comes to his senses and like, no, this is the girl for me, and then they end up together. So it kind of still does follow that same archetype, but you're right that it's not the whole movie is him trying to get her. It's
Yeah.
more like him doing his weird stuff,
Yeah.
like when he's getting with all the other girls.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
then he like comes to his senses and he's like, okay, no, I really like this girl.
Yeah. No, exactly. And like I I don't know why. Maybe it's just because like I'm trying to think. To me, it kind of leans. No, it's not the same as that. Because I'm gonna say Truman Show. That's not a rom com. Because like that's like to me, I
No.
just see like the romance is there, but it's not like the driving force. Like you know what I mean? Like this movie is about a guy living the same day over and over, and it's almost like a Scrooge esque, where it's like, oh, you realize like how much of an ass you've been, kind of thing, and you need to change yourself. And then that will also, by the way, help you get a girl. Not so much about like, oh, I need all these days to finally, you know what I mean? If it was just he was repeating the same day and every day was trying different ways to get the girl, I feel like
Mhm.
it'd lean more in rom com for me. But I'm not mad if anyone thinks this includes this in the rom com category. But I just never really thought of it as a rom com
Well,
because of that.
I would, because like like the end of the movie and what finally breaks the loop is that
Yeah,
he ends up with her, right? And
yeah, I guess that's true.
it's genuine, like earlier on when he's orchestrating the day so that everything's perfect, right? He orders the drink for her and he knows French poetry and like he does all
Yeah,
this
no, it's
stuff
true.
to like try and get her to like him. It's not real. So
Hmm.
like, but by the end of it, when he's like, okay, no, we actually do develop this relationship, this bond for each other, that's what eventually breaks the loop. That's pretty damn
Yeah, I
rom
guess so.
commy.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, as we're talking about it too, like, well, was this a rewatch for you? Or was this your first time seeing this
No,
movie?
no, this is my first time watching it. I'd never seen it
Okay, so
before.
what were your thoughts? What's your some of your thoughts on it?
I thought the concept was cool.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
the same day over and over. And I'm sure this isn't the first time this has ever been done in a
Hmm.
movie. Um, but I also did find it kind of confusing.
Hmm.
Like they never really explain what causes it to start and stop.
Yeah.
Like he just wakes up the next day and then it is the same day. Like
Hmm.
there wasn't anything that happened that showed us why that's happening. And then when it stops, when he finally gets with Rita
Yeah.
and they have this bond and this good day together, it breaks, and it's also kind of like, was that the whole thing? Like he just
Yeah.
had to get with this girl and then it would break. So like, is it like, did Cupid put a curse on him or something? Like, it
Yeah.
was a little confusing, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter. So
Yeah. No, I got you. And it's interesting you say that too, because there's 2 points I wanna like reply to. Is like the first, you saying how like they don't really explain like how it happens, which is, yeah, it is true. And I don't know why the first time I watched the movie I didn't really think about that. I kind of just accept it as like, I know what this movie's about, and then I just like, I know what's gonna happen, so that let's just see it
yeah,
happen. Whatever it is. I didn't know if it was like a curse in the city or like whatever it is. And there's some theories online, and like I'm gonna mention it later. Kind of ties into one of my awards, so I'm just gonna group it in that. So it's a
okay.
little to give you that later. And then also, what was the other thing that you said too that you confused you? You said that it was confused with like how it started and how it stopped.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's yeah that I guess that all ties around the same thing of like the theory that I saw with them saying. But the director, oh yeah, that was the other thing. The director said that when he first got the script, it actually just started. The movie kind of started already within the loop, so he's already
right.
in it. So
Yeah,
he added in the part of them being like, oh okay, let's show like a beginning part. So like we're at least getting into it first. But again, I guess it's still, I guess what it does is it gives you more background of what kind of who he is.
yeah. I read the same thing too. That like it started originally, he was already in the loop, and I think
Mhm.
the biggest reason that they wanted to have a beginning, I guess, before
Mhm.
that is so that you could get like kind of his reaction to it starting, right? Like
Yeah.
if he's already in it, then he would already be doing this. Like this is a day-to-day thing. Like
Yeah.
he'd be getting up, doing his daily routine or whatever he's doing, if he's tricking girls or if he's saving people or fixing
Yeah.
tires, whatever he's doing. But like if you do it this way, then you get to see his first day, and then you
Yeah.
get to see his reaction where he's like, "What the heck? Like, what's going on?
Mhm.
Why is this happening?" And then he starts to freak out, and he's asking Rita for help, and like, so you get to see all these different
Like
pieces, I
phases.
guess. Yeah, these
Yeah.
different phases. Yeah, because that was actually a really big thing that I read too was that they basically use I have it written down here. They use the 5 stages of grief as like
Oh, okay.
as a model,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Mm.
And you can kind of see him go through that. And if you think about it, if you join him like halfway through, he probably would have gone all through all that stuff already.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's
No,
kind of cool. Like in denial right away, he's just like, he just doesn't believe it, he's freaking out. And then he gets angry, he gets pissed off, and he's like,
yeah,
he steals the groundhog and starts driving
yeah,
away.
that's true.
And then depression, he starts killing himself over and
Yeah,
over. Like it's kind of cool that they
yeah, they went
went
through
through
all
the
the phases.
stages. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, we might as well. I guess we could jump into it. Like, if just
Well,
start from the big. Oh yeah, go.
I do have one. I do have a shout out that I
Okay,
gotta
go.
give.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, on IG to CY or Psy the Dawn. Dope name, by
Oh,
the way.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, you saw this?
I did see this. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we were talking a little bit on IG. He sent us a movie rec, actually, Beyond
Mhm.
Paradise, called a Hawaiian indie movie. And
Yeah.
he said he's Hawaiian and like the authenticity is top notch. So I was like, okay, cool. And I just appreciated him reaching out, saying what's up. He also said, by the way, love the content. You guys are killing it. So thank you, Cy the Don.
Oh, okay. Hey, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a certified member of the film family.
No, 100%. And I looked it up too. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on Tubi.
Mhm.
So it's easily
Yeah.
accessible for everybody because Tubi's free. So you get probably like 1 or 2 commercials in there. But hey, if anyone wants to watch a Hawaiian Paradise, we go check it out. It's on
Yeah.
Tubi.
Beyond Paradise. Go check it out. And hey, and if you hate it, then scrap with Cy the Don, not me.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen it yet. We're throwing it out there without watching it yet, but
Yeah, exactly.
we'll still take any recommendations, yo.
Yeah, 100%. Well, yeah, like I said, just for him reaching out, saying what's up, giving we were just going back and forth a little bit. I appreciate that with anybody. We're trying to do here is build a community and appreciate it. Cool
Yeah,
name, too.
100%.
Cy
No, it
the
is.
Dawn.
Oh, 100%.
Just rolls
yeah.
off the tongue.
Yeah,
Maybe it is
dope.
CY. I don't know. I'm butchering it maybe.
I was
way, it's
thinking the
cool.
same thing. I was like, I don't know how to pronounce it. Like I had it written down too. I was like,
Oh,
I'm
did
glad
you?
Yeah. I was about to shout him out too, but
Okay, nice.
but either way, it got done. But I was
Yeah.
thinking the whole time I was like, I hope I pronounce this right.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to message him, being like, Yo, how do I say this?
True.
I don't want to butcher it.
He's all right.
Yeah,
You'll be
no.
all right.
No, for sure. But it's like the worst thing, you get a shout out and they pronounce your name wrong or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I want to shout out Scoot, and it's like, oh, damn it.
Well, I'm sure his real name isn't.
No, I
Cy the
know,
Don.
I know, but still.
it's just an IG handle.
No,
It's
but
whatever.
still, yeah. He's coming like, yo, come on, guys. You
Oh,
do me
sorry,
dirty.
bro.
But yeah, so we open up and like I kind of broke it a little bit like into days, and so the first day we kind of get him. The way the movie opens up, like we see him at his new station. We can already see, we talked about how like he's kind of a grump going as they're making their way. And what was your thought about like kind of the movie opened up, like as we built into before the events of everything?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of like, kind of like I already mentioned, where it's like the classic. This guy has an arc to go through, right?
Yeah.
He's not already at he's emotionally available, and he knows what he's doing, and he's a nice guy. Like, no, he's a grumpy dude. He's kind of a jackass. He doesn't want to go to Punxsutawney. Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, he's starting down here, and then he's gonna build his way up. Like, it's a classic rom-com. I don't care what you're saying. This is a
Okay, all right,
rom-com, bro.
fine. Yeah.
So yeah, like we're just seeing his character and Bill Murray cracking jokes. It's always I'm actually a big Bill Murray fan. He's funny. He's hilarious.
Oh yeah, same. I mean, we this is our second time doing a movie with Bill Murray, and we did Zombieland.
Yeah.
And we were ecstatic when he showed up on screen. So
Yeah, man.
I think when I saw we were gonna do this, I was like, I know already Scott's on board for Bill Murray.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, no, he's a gem in this movie. That's one of my favorite parts of this movie. Is just like him. Like it's one of those movies where like it's like. It's all in retrospect now because people always be like, oh, I don't know if it would have worked without that person as the character. You don't really know, but like the movie fits him so well. Like
Yeah.
it just feel like the way Bill Murray acts. Like I don't think he's the same in every movie, but there definitely is like a Bill Murray performance, and the way he carries himself in movies and his kind of comedy just fits so well with this movie.
Yeah, you're right. Because I feel like he kind of like his character, right? He's negative, and he's kind of a jackass, and I feel like that's Bill Murray's style. Like he's not negative, but
Yeah.
like just like kind of even keeled, and then he'll make jokes like kind of condescending jokes, just making
Yeah.
fun of people kind of thing. So like it totally works with Phil.
And like really sarcastic too. Like it
Yeah,
fits
yeah.
perfect. And it is funny too because he also plays Scrooge, and like Scrooge and this character are very similar
True.
in the sense of just like, oh, bah humbug Christmas, like all this, like his
Groundhog
hate.
Day.
Exactly, his hate for Christmas is the same thing for Groundhog Day. It's like, to me, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's the Grouch. He's very good at being a Grouch. Like he can just keep doing that.
It's just that nobody cares about Groundhog Day as much as they care about Christmas.
Yeah, no, that's 100. I mean, if the people in that town do.
Yeah, true.
they get lit for what's it called
For Groundhog
Day.
Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah, which I don't know. I didn't realize that was a real thing.
Really?
Yeah, if you look if you looked up Groundhog Day that happened this year, like that's a real event that they do. Like if they dress up and they bring out the Groundhog Day, they dress up in the top hats and all that stuff. It's real.
Oh, I didn't know they do all the top hats and stuff, but
And
but
the
I knew
groundhog's name is Phil. It's
Yeah.
based off real stuff. Like I thought,
Yeah.
like they made a little bit of liberties and changed it up, but it's
Mhm.
all like they took like the real thing and just went with it.
Yeah, I knew all that was real. The only thing that I didn't know that kind of like was weird to me is like, so when they finally get, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but when they get to the ceremony and they just like open the door and pull him out, and then he like whispers in the guy's ear. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
I
This
know.
doesn't even make sense. Like, I thought it was actually like he pokes his head out of a hole, and whichever way like if he sees a shadow, then it's 6 more weeks of winter, and if
Yeah.
not, then it's not. Like, this is just bullshit. They
Yeah, I
bring
know.
this guy, they bring this groundhog out of a trap door,
Mhm.
and he whispers into this guy's ear. They're just making this shit up.
I know that's exactly what I was thinking too. And again, I've never watched an actual real one, or at least I don't
Yeah.
remember that much. Maybe when I was a kid I did, but I used to always think it was the same thing too. It's just like I imagine there was a bunch of cameras on a groundhog hole, and they
Yeah.
wait to see him pop out and kind of look around. Does he come back in? Does he come out? And they're like, okay, that's it. To see them, yeah, just do this, like just knock on the thing and open it. He's whispering in his ear. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here?
What is this? Like, come on, guys. Like this. How are you? How is there any? I mean, the whole thing, like, if he sees a shadow or not, obviously there's no science to it or
Yeah.
anything. Like, I get it. It's all just for fun. But like, come on, guys. We're not even trying here to make it
Yeah,
seem kind of
I know.
realistic. Like, he told me that he saw a shadow. What are you talking about? Where did he see a shadow? You just grabbed him as soon as you opened the door. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Piss me
man. I also got a shout out to Larry. Like I don't know if you recognized it, Larry, like the
Oh, yeah.
camera guy.
Yeah, well, he's in a
Freaking-
bunch of stuff, but
No, when I see him, I think immediately of Lily's dad from How I
Okay,
Met Your
yeah.
Mother.
yeah.
This guy looks the exact same. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well,
Like-
to be fair, How I Met Your Mother is decently old. I mean, it's not 93, but like,
No, that's what I'm saying. No, but yeah, I think Lily's dad came in into like the 10s at least. So it's like 15 years later, maybe.
you know what it is though. I think it's not that he's done so well and he's kept his youth and his look for this long. He looks old as fuck
Yeah.
in 93. That's what it is. He's already balding and like I don't even know. Does he have gray hair? Like he does. Hey man.
I don't know, but to me, it's one of those things where it's like I was debating, like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? It's like if you just stay looking like that, but then you stay looking kind of like old, and then
Yeah.
people be like, "Oh, I thought you were older than that." It's like no, but when you were young, you also look like that, so it's kind of it's a little rough. But hey, because my first thought was like, "Oh, it looks the exact same," but I was like, "Well, how old is he though?"
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, if he's like 27 or something, that's like, oh, damn.
Because that's the thing. If you were like, when he's Lily's dad in How I Met Your Mother, are you like, wow, he looks really young to be Lily's dad? No.
Yeah, that's true.
No, he doesn't. He looks like he should be about that age. And in
Yeah,
this
true.
movie, that's like 20 years earlier, almost,
Yeah.
he still looks the same. So, damn.
A little more, maybe a little more of a glow to him. I'll give him that.
Okay.
I don't want to shut on him too much. I'm sorry, Chris Elliott. Yeah, we love you.
Sorry, I'm coughing. I'm getting over a cold.
No, it's all good. So then we get into his first repeat day, and again, this is just kind of him like going through it, and it's kind of like you're talking about the denial stage. There's one line. I don't know if you had anything from like this specific like first day that's just killing me. It's just actually no, this is still on the first day. I think when he
Okay.
goes into the shower and it's like, and he gets the cold water, and he comes out, and he's like, "Yo, mom, there isn't any hot water," and I was just like, "Yo, mom." This is a little lie that just had me dying. I was like, I don't know why.
I mean, the thing that got me was like, so he turns the water on. And he's like, "Oh shit, it's so cold," and he spends like 5 minutes fumbling around. He tries to like turn the shower head, like just turn it off, man. What are you doing?
Or just get out. Like I know it's a movie. He doesn't want to show himself naked, but like non-movie wise, just get out of the shower.
Yeah, but like your hand was already on the knob or whatever to turn it on.
Yeah.
It's not like it's across the room. Like, how to just turn it off? Like, it's easier to try and turn the shower head than to just turn the water off. What are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I know. And the funny thing is too, like as we get to like the repeat day, he falls for it again. But this is the first time he's like, okay, he's not hip to what's going on yet. But like you said, that second time he's just hitting the thing outside. I'm like, just turn it off.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, bro. But yeah, like there's some wild stuff, man. When he's going through the repeat day and the same stuff keeps on, like when Ned keeps pulling up, right?
Yeah.
The thing that gets me is like, I feel like this shouldn't actually work. And obviously, I'm poking. Yeah, I'll explain. But like, I'm poking holes in something that doesn't need holes poked. But this is a movie podcast. This is what we're here to do.
Yeah.
So. Because he comes out the first day, right? And he talks to the guy on the staircase. He's like, "Oh, you're going to see the groundhog, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
And then he talks to the bed and breakfast owner, or the maid, or whoever that is. And they're, he's getting his coffee. They're talking about weather or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the later days, he comes down. He just like pushes right past the guy in the staircase. He completely ignores the lady down at breakfast and immediately goes out the door. That's like 4 minutes that he's ahead of schedule.
Oh,
so how would Ned run into him?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, like his timing is being stretched out. So it's been because it would have been a longer process, like each time going through it. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Hey,
it's just, I know you're not actually hating on it, but it's it's just like a little funny thing to point out. Yeah, because I mean, later on, he's like very on point with his time. Like he knows when everything happens. But yeah, at that point, just like these little things would definitely like change the pacings of all this stuff. That's a good point. That is a good point.
Like I said, I'm not. That's not a beef with the movie, but
no, definitely not.
When I'm watching these movies for the podcast, I'm looking for every little thing.
No, 100%. So then we get into like the third day when he's starting to like then he actually tells Rita like that, like what's going on, and obviously like she doesn't believe him. And we get a little cameo. I don't know if you realize that the director was in there, like when he's getting examined. Yeah, like what's his name, Arnold Ramis. Like when he's getting inspected, like his head, he's like, maybe you should see a psychiatrist. Like that's him.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I didn't recognize.
Psychiatrist?
He's he's the guy before. Like he's the doctor.
Oh, okay.
He's a doctor telling me you should get examined. Yeah, no, I didn't recognize him because I've only seen that dude with the beard. So like he was clean shaven when he was the doctor, so I didn't even recognize him. It's always fun just being the director. Like I'm gonna put myself in my movie. You got to.
I would do it every single time.
100%.
Like why wouldn't you? It doesn't even have to be a speaking role. Even if you're just like at the groundhog ceremony, you could just be like one of the people in the background or something.
Yeah,
or,
exactly. Something.
Or
Something completely.
A bartender tiny. Or someone that walks by at the dance or something. Yeah. I would do it every single time, bro.
100%. You know, another thing I noticed too, just like the Buster, like the guy that's like the main guy that takes with the groundhog and starts talking. That dude's voice. I don't know if that voice rang anything because I have immediately when I heard his voice, like it's like all raspy and stuff. Did you recognize his voice at all?
Well, I recognize him. I don't know even from what, but he definitely does have a recognizable. Like I've seen him in other things for sure.
Yeah. Well, to me, like the main thing, I was like, I kept looking at his IMDb. I'm like, nah, it's not that. It's not that. He's freaking the Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob. And I was like, that's
I totally see it now.
Yeah. It's just like, it's just like this really like, it's such a unique voice. Like you hear that voice, it's like, what is that? It's such a cartoony voice. Right. I'm like, this guy must have done so many. He's probably in a bunch of Disney things we probably watched as a kid or whatever. It's just like you have a voice like that. You just be any like villain or any character. It's just so distinct. It's like the guy that's like Joe in freaking Family Guy. His voice, I forget that actor's name, but he's also like Kronk and that. Like he's just voice is just so deep and distinct. It's just
that's the guy.
He's in Rules of Engagement.
He's in Rules
too.
of Engagement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know his name, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But yeah, no, his voice is just so distinct. It's just like this. Yeah, but I just had to throw that out there. But
That's crazy that he's not changing his voice. Like for the Flying Dutchman. Like I
Yeah.
assumed it was some guy like being cartoonish, right?
Same.
Like, yeah.
It's
just his
exact voice. Exact. There is one funny thing to it. Again, it's not a poking hole. It's just something I thought was funny because it's like when he's kind of like he's still kind of in his denial phase, and then he goes bowling with those dudes. And they're kind of talking about it, and he's like, "Man, what would you do if you kind of explain, like, relive the whole day, like you're living the same day?" And they're kind of like, "Well, there's no consequences. Like, we could get hungover and then not worried about. I mean, get drunk and not worried about getting hungover the next day." And that's when it first kind of clicks for him.
Yeah.
And he drives the car, and like they're like on the train track, which I'm just like, at this point, it's kind of wild because like you don't know if you can die yet.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh well, if I could come back tomorrow, maybe I'll just drive on a train. Which they cut it really close.
Yeah.
Really close. Like,
see, the thing that got me is like, I get why he's doing this.
Yeah.
You're right that like you don't know if you can die yet, but like you can maybe you can have less inhibitions, right? Because you're like, okay, I'm just gonna wake up in bed tomorrow and it's just gonna be the same day, blah blah blah. But for the two guys, like they're drunk as hell to be fair. But like, why are they okay with this? This is their car. This is some random dude, and he's taking you. Driving down trade tracks and all this shit, like I'd be like, bro, what are you doing? No, get out of my car.
No,
what is this?
100%. Or at least I would have been like, even in a drunken state, I'd been like, let me out, or I'm tucking and rolling because this madman is driving towards a train. I don't even care about the car, bro. Just let me out.
Yeah, and if some guy's like, no, man, it's okay. It's just gonna be the same day tomorrow. I'm like, I'm not just gonna believe that.
Yeah,
guy.
I know. I'll be like,
you're just
bro,
gonna kill me. What are you talking about? You could,
like,
you could be on drugs. You could just be some psycho dude that like obviously you're not just gonna believe someone that tells you that.
Yeah.
So like these guys are insane.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another funny part too, which I never noticed until this watch, where I was just like, they're driving on the tracks, right? And the cops are following them along, right? They're like right on their tail. And the train's getting closer and closer. And then they turn. And then suddenly, okay, they're safe. I'm like, did he kill those cops? We never saw the cops get off the train.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing, but I was like, they must have just like turned back.
Gave up.
Like,
gave up along. Yeah. They're like,
because you're right. As soon as he turns off the tracks, then the cops aren't behind him anymore.
Yeah.
And they, like you said, they cut it real close. So that means the cops, if they cut it close like that, then the cops would not have made it.
No,
so I think they saw that coming and they're like, okay, nah, these guys, they got away. This guy's crazy.
100. It was just a funny thing because they never showed it. They never showed the cops getting off, and they never showed the cops getting hit. So I'm just like, he could have killed those cops. I mean, they're back to the next day, I guess. But
to be fair, would that be him killing them?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, they didn't have to go.
It's kind of his fault, but it's not him like killing. He's not pushing them in front of the train or anything.
No, that's true. Yeah, it's like if I'm a madman and I run into a fire and you coming with me
exactly
to try and get me and then you die. It's like, well, it's his fault. Is it though?
Yeah.
You didn't have to come in.
Dude, when I kind of skipped over this, but because we see him go to the ceremony and do his like reporting a bunch of times, right?
Yeah.
And he gets like kind of increasingly pissed off, and then he actually gets like happy about it, and he does this super insightful speech, and everybody's huddled around him and clapping. But in one of them, when he's giving the countdown to Larry, and he's like, Larry, camera on me in 3, 2, 1, and then the 1 is his middle finger.
Oh yeah,
it's such a tiny thing, but I noticed it. I was like, oh, that's such a great little thing that I don't know if Bill Murray just like tried to do that, or if it was like if they told him to do that, or if he just thought of it. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm sure there's so many little things. Like when you have like a comedian, you always hear the stories about them just like ad-libbing so many things. And there's so many just like little subtle lines too. Where there's just like, he says these little quips so fast where it's just like, some of them are a little more obvious. Just like, oh, did you guys sleep okay? Did you sleep okay without me? Like when he was like hitting on her. It's like, he doesn't like her, but he's still just like making like these dirty jokes and it's like hitting on her and stuff like that. And even like the first night when they said, are you going to come to the party? He's like, nah, I think I'm just going to relax. Like maybe like read a Hustler or something, like read one of the articles. It's just like all these little quick quips is just like, he's just so good with those.
See, but like, does he like Rita? Because like when he sees her for the first time, at the news station.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he kind of pauses for a second while he's looking at her, and she's on the green screen, and she's doing whatever she's doing. So you kind of get that notion right away, like, okay, this is the girl. This is like the girl. You know what I mean? And like at the end of the movie, the guy gets the girl. Like, you know, this is what it's gonna be. But like, so does he like her right away, or is he just? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's true. And this was one of those funny things too, where it's just like when we obviously don't know the backstory, which is like obviously by design. We don't need to get like their whole relationship that's before this, but you kind of just like, why does he not like her? Like what she's doing isn't that crazy. Like she's just having a little fun on the green screen, and then she's like smiling. You know what I mean? Like it's not like she's ugly or anything. It's not like that classic thing where it's like a girl in a ponytail with glasses, and then suddenly she takes off. It's like, oh, I never noticed how beautiful how beautiful you were until you took off your glasses or whatever it is. It's just like she's looked the exact same the whole movie.
Yeah.
Literally because it's the same day also too. So it's just like why did one day you finally realize? I'm like, oh wait, she's actually not that annoying.
See, but I don't I don't know if he didn't like her or if it was more like, because when he starts getting with all the other girls, right? And it's pretty easy for him because like what he's doing is diabolical.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when he's like getting the information on them one day and then uses it the next day.
Yeah, like the Nancy thing was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like when he starts accepting everything, when he starts making the most out of his day, even though what he's doing is diabolical, it's hilarious. Like he kisses the front desk lady, and then it's just like Ned is got to go down as one of the most annoying characters of all time. He did a good job because the character's supposed to be annoying, but when it's just like it's just like Phil, Ned, and when he punches him, I was like, good man. This guy's annoying.
Knocks him the fuck out, man. I did not see that coming. But like, yeah, Ned every time. Ned Ryerson.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Bing. Bing. Do you have insurance? Because you could always use a little more. Like he's just such a big like a caricature. Like like
100%.
Nobody is actually like that. It's hilarious, man.
And the Nancy thing, like that's the thing we're referring to. The Nancy thing's hilarious too. He's like, "What's your name? Like, what was the name of your high school? Like, what was your teacher?" And at first you're kind of like, "What is he doing here?" And he's just like, "Nancy Lincoln Walsh." Got it. And it's just like, I know. Okay, you see it? Yeah, it's so messed up. I'm like, this guy's hilarious. That's hilarious. He came up with that so quick. This is the first time we've ever seen him do it. He's immediately like, I'm gonna find her name, her high school, and her English teacher. Like immediately, I'm like, have you done something like this before? Like,
yeah, I know. Like that's. I didn't know what he was doing at first, and then when he was like, "Okay, I got it," I was like, "Oh shit, okay, I could see where he's going with this." But then like you could see that like the next day he does it, and then they're hooking up. So like it was simple almost, you know, for him because he had this previous information.
Yeah,
but for Rita, like he can get all this previous information and stuff, and he spends days trying to get this perfect day to get with her, and then it doesn't work out. So I don't know, like, was it that he doesn't like Rita, or is it more like he's like, oh, it's too much effort to try and get Rita, and when I could just get these other girls, all I have to figure out is what high school they went to.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because it's that easy.
Yeah.
It's that easy. I thought it was also funny too, the bit of him like stealing the money. Because my thing is like, okay, yeah, you know when everything's gonna happen, you can rob a bank and do all these things, but just like your time is so limited. Because I was even saying with like Eloise when we were watching, I was like, okay, like you can have access to all the money in the world technically if you want. You can't really do any like sports betting because all the games are in the end of the day. So if you win big, then it's like, how much time do you have time to go anywhere? Maybe you figure out how to rob a bank early in the morning, but it's like, where do you go? You can't go that far with your plane ticket. It's just like it's. That
was actually something I read about. That they took out of the story. Like they thought about kind of having him try and go as far out of the city as he could. Like that was going to be one of the pieces, one of the things that he was doing with his days was trying to just leave Punxsutawney. Yeah. And maybe that would break the loop or whatever. So trying to see how as far as he can get. But they said that they took it out basically because they were like, because they kept the rules of this kind of like they didn't establish any rules of it. Yeah. Right. We were talking about how it starts and stops is just like they don't even explain it. So like they were like, okay, if we start to do that, then we introduce more questions to people and stuff like that. So we're like, we'll just avoid that. Yeah. But you're right. Fair. Like stealing money, like for what? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I know. Like, you can only spend within the town. What do you really want?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna get a new car for a day, and then I have to keep doing this to get that car or whatever it is. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it that you could possibly do? Which is again, it's just you kind of have to put in there too, because just like if you're living the same day, there's got to be some kind of money thing. It's gambling doesn't make sense. Just like, okay, how can I just like rob a bank or steal money? Just something. You got to go through all the phases basically.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to think like if you were stuck in this day and you have no consequences because no matter what you do, you're just going to restart the next day. What would you do? And you just kind of put yourself in those shoes, and stealing money is something that, yeah, we all probably would think about doing.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do because I remember Eloise asked me that. I don't know if you during this you thought of it. Like, I don't know specific because I was thinking like if there was a day you'd want to relive. I was like, no matter what day you live, you get tired of it. Even if it's
Yeah.
like it could be your birthday, you'd get tired of it, or even like it was like a fun trip. Suddenly that trip would by like the first week, the trip would be not. I don't even know if a week. Maybe by the third day, it'd be like okay, like
Yeah.
I like the trip because it was like a one time thing and it was a great experience. But reliving the same experience isn't great. I don't even know what I would try to do. Where like if I was reliving the same day, and it doesn't have to be like the greatest day. If it was just today, and it's just like, okay, well,
Today's a shitty day.
well, no, I'm just saying like, what would I do? It's just like, okay, this day is gonna happen over and over. So whatever I do, there's no consequences.
Yeah.
It's like, well, gambling's out the window. I'm not even such a gambler anyway, but like, there's no point because my winnings aren't gonna stay with me anyway. Do I just blow all my money? Is there a game I want to go today? Just get court seat games.
Super Bowl's today, man.
Yeah, but I won't be able to get there probably in time. Just put all my money into put all my money into a plane ticket and a ticket for the Super Bowl. I don't know if I don't know if how long it would take for me to get there.
See, but you have an endless amount of days
That's
to
true.
figure that out.
That is true.
You know what I mean? So like you could
Yeah.
spend the first 20 days just be okay, how am I going to do this? You could try it and then, you see how far you can get and then be like, okay, what was the obstacle that stopped me from doing it? Okay.
That's true.
This is what happened. How do I get over that obstacle tomorrow? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'll bring myself a crowbar so I can break through this thing for tomorrow. You know what I mean? You're just preparing yourself and you're just getting closer and closer. And then eventually you actually get it done.
That's
then I feel like you would, okay, I think I cracked the code here.
Okay.
So assuming so that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
So you'd spend a bunch of time, figuring out how am I going to get a plane ticket, go to the game, enjoy the game, blah, blah, blah. And then once you do that, you go and do that a few times. You can sit in different seats, you can talk to different people, you can experience it in different ways. And then whenever you're bored with that, you've experienced it as much as you can, then you come up with another goal. You're like, okay, instead of doing this, I want to go over here and talk to this person, or I want to go over here and I want to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, now how do I do that? How do I get a plane ticket over there? And how do I, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you're
true.
basically just like setting these goals for yourself and figuring out and problem solving how to get there.
That's good. I thought you were gonna say like after you get bored, how do I rig the game? Like how do I get on the field? How do I
that'd be sick.
I'm like, damn, today I'm gonna be a streaker. Let's see how it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. You know what the funny thing is too? Like as you were saying that, my thing would be like, I think like a funny like concept for like it would be a short or maybe it could be a movie where it's just like you're the whole time you're trying to figure out how to get to the game. First of all, like get your ticket and then also get the plane ticket and all that stuff, get all your stuff organized. But during that time, you're trying to make sure that the game doesn't get spoiled for you. Because the first time you actually get there, you want it to be a new experience. Because if you keep doing these things and you know exactly how the game's gonna go, by the time if it takes you like maybe a couple of days, by the time you get there, you're like, I know this game's exactly gonna go. But if I somehow like put on blockers, avoid everything, every single day, I'm like trying to make sure like I don't hear spoilers, and then you're also doing the same thing trying to plan out at the same time, and then you finally get there, and then it sucks like. Man, it's like an ass game or something.
Yeah.
All that time is just like, oh, it was just
that's
a
good
blowout.
point. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. Because you're right. Like I feel like it'd be impossible to like not know.
That'd be part of it. That'd be part of the excitement of it. Where it'd be like, I gotta do everything to not see spoilers, and then also try to get my way there.
Damn.
Yeah, there we go. That's we'll cut this out. Actually, we might be cooking on something.
Well, we can't live the same day every. Oh
no, for a movie. Yeah, no, that's actually doing it. No,
I was like, what are you talking about? This isn't real. Like we can't do this.
No. Just a plot for a movie. But, but the one thing I want to mention too, like that was funny too. We were talking about how he kept pursuing Nancy, right? And I also thought it was funny how like when he like met like as he was like trying to get with her, him throwing in the "I love you," like pulling a Ted Mosby basically. I don't know why he think that would help. If you're just with this girl and she's like first eat all these things, like no, I love you. My first inkling would be like, you just met this girl today. I feel like she'd be like thrown off. I feel like there's like a 5% girl that if you told them they love you in the first day, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I love you too. Like most people are like, yo, what the get
It
away
worked,
from
though,
me. It
'cause
did work.
Yeah, he was like, "No, I love you. You know, will you marry me?" Because he keeps
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, Rita," and she's like, "Who the fuck is Rita?"
Yeah, I know.
And then he's like, "Oh, you know, no, I love you. Will you marry me?" And then he says, "Oh, Rita," again. And I'm
I
like, "What are
know.
you doing, bro?" And then this time she's like, "Wait, what did you say?" He's like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
And then they just keep making out, and I'm like, "What is like? This is the same." Like romantic rom-com archetype, right? He's getting with the wrong girl. Like this
Yeah.
girl's an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
So he's like, he's hooking up with the wrong girl, the dumb girl, and all while he's trying to. But also, if he keeps saying, "Oh, Rita," maybe he does like Rita, bro?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's like a little bit thing like you want what you can't have kind of
Mm.
thing. But at this point, he never really tried though. So yeah, maybe there is that little bit of that where you just that was the inkling of like, oh, maybe he actually likes her more than he's putting on kind of
Yeah.
thing. The last wild thing too before he starts getting in his pursuit of Rita is the fact that like when the next time when he goes for that new girl and then they go to like a movie like all
Yeah.
dressed up, which I was like, yo, I don't know. They never showed how many times he tried to get this girl, but I'm just like, yo, Phil's got crazy game. The fact that he could
Crazy.
in the same day he met a girl, he could convince her to dress up like that.
In a French maid
That's what I'm
outfit and go
saying.
to a movie theater?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Crazy,
saying.
bro.
I'm like, how the heck did he convince her to do all that?
But it could be the same thing. Whereas like the day before or a couple of the
Yeah.
days before, right? He tried and then she just like slapped him in the face.
Yeah,
Like, no, I'm not
exactly.
doing that. And then he's like, how do I do it better next time? And then
Yeah.
he's able to figure out. But also like, why? Like
Yeah, I know.
if you could get this girl to wear like a French maid outfit and everything, wouldn't you just want to like bring her to your room? Like, why
Yeah,
would
I
you
know.
take her to a movie theater?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I know. Because he's just bored at this point. He just wants
Yeah,
to
I guess so.
he's just going all the options. He's like, let
That's
me
true.
just be goofy. Let's just dress up and go to this movie theater. And yeah, he's going through all the things. But yeah, go.
Another. Well, I have one more thing before we get to like with Rita's. Like when he goes to they keep going to the diner, right?
Yeah.
And he orders all this food. Like
Oh yeah. I don't
and I'm like, yeah, I get. You don't have any consequence of you can eat like shit and it doesn't matter. But like even if that's the case, you can't eat all this food.
yeah.
It's like I get that you have no tomorrow, but you cannot eat all this food. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
No, you're 100%. I had a note on that too, and it wasn't so much that you can't eat all the food, which it is a good point. My thing is like, yeah, there's no consequences tomorrow, but if you ate a bunch of crap in the morning, you'd still feel sick that day.
True.
Like you'll feel sick in like an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why he thinks that like, oh, I can do whatever I want. It's like
Yeah.
I can just take all these drugs, like that's or like drink all this alcohol or whatever it is, and like it won't affect me tomorrow. Yeah, but it can affect you today.
Yeah.
You
That's a
won't-
great point.
your day is gonna be horrible.
That is a great point. Yeah. What is he doing eating all this food? Yeah. First of all, yeah, I was like, you can't, there's the whole table is
Yeah, it's
full
full.
with plates stacked to the brim. I was like, you can't eat all this. And
Yeah.
you're totally right. He's not going to feel it tomorrow, but he's going to feel it today.
100%. Like what I would do is actually no, this is something I would do. I didn't even think about it. Like food, like just go to like the most expensive restaurant that like maybe you never like just search up expensive restaurants and be like, you know what?
I mean, they're in
heard this.
Punxsutawney.
That's true.
Is there, is there, I don't know how much fine
is true.
dining
That is a good
French
point.
cuisine is in Punxsutawney.
That is a good point. Yeah, I don't know. You just got to figure out what the most expensive experiences are, and just like let me just do them because it won't matter anyway. Let me just blow all my money. Which, yeah. But then we get into like the Rita portion of it, and yeah, like what did you think the whole pursuit of Rita, like the way he was going about it?
Like because we didn't see this with the other girls, so and I get that we're not going to see this with every single one. For just like timing wise, we're not going to see this with everyone. And like I said, she's the girl, so like, this is the one that he has to put the effort in, and he can't just say, "Oh, Nancy," and tell her to shut up. And
exactly.
She's actually the smart girl, but I also found it funny, like when we first see it at the bar, right? It starts at the bar, and he finds out her favorite drink, so he
Yeah.
can order the right drink. And the bartender, like you could see him look at him, and he's
Yeah.
like, he like nods his head. He's like, "Yo, this motherfucker's spitting right now." Like he knows that he is spitting game at Rita
Yeah.
right now. The bartender was approving.
No, I had that written down too because I was like, the bartender's like, all right, I see you.
Yeah,
I see
exactly.
I see you, big player.
It's so good, man.
My
And
thing
then-
is, oh yeah, go.
Well, but, the next thing, because then they go to this restaurant,
Mhm.
and then they're talking about her education and everything.
Yeah.
And then the first time he laughs at her education, I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
That's exactly what I was gonna say too. He's like, "Oh, why would you waste your time with that?" I'm like, "Dog, you don't need to relive days to know that that was a stupid ass thing to say."
Exactly.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
You just immediately shit on the thing she went to school for.
Yeah, ask a girl what her passion is and what she went to school, and then tell her she's an idiot.
Yeah.
Great game, stupid. Yeah, like we don't relive days. Everybody knows that that's a dumb move. What are you
Oh
doing?
my gosh, man. What are you doing, Phil, man? Like I understand like the like, oh, like what do you toast to? Like, you know, like the world peace thing. You're never gonna get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even remember what he said. She said I toast to world peace, which I thought like you gotta roll your eyes at that. It makes it a little pretentious.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like it's like I only toast to world peace. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
you're just drinking alcohol at the end of the day. It's not like you're not really doing much here.
Yeah, exactly. You're
It's
not,
like
if this is your contribution to world peace, you're not actually
That's
helping.
that's what I'm saying. It'd be different if it was like you're at like a fountain and like, oh, what do you always wish for? Like, oh, I wish for world peace. I'm like, that's to me, that's a little bit more in the sense of like, oh, it's
Is
not like, oh, I wish I won $1 million. I wish I won $1 million. It's a little less selfish in that sense. If you're just toasting to alcohol, it's just like, hey, let's toast to us. Let's toast to good health. You know what I mean? Like these kind of things, whatever. Toast to world peace.
Toast to world peace.
I guess. it is what it is. It was.
But
it
don't
was,
laugh at the girl's education.
yeah, I know that's crazy.
Come on, man.
That is crazy.
Come on.
He's
man.
also like Phil need to chill the hell out too, because they go through the whole day. They do the snowball fights and all that stuff, and he's just like such a horn dog, man.
Mm.
This man is where she's like, maybe we will wait. He's like, no, I think tonight's good. He's like, I got your ice cream. He's trying to do all the things. I got you this. I got
Yeah.
you this. She's just like, yo, chill out. Yo, chill out. He's like, I love you. I'm like, dog, yeah, you're too much, man.
But for him, he's like, it's got to be today, because if it's
Yeah.
not today, then it's, there is no tomorrows, right?
Yeah,
So he's
no.
like, it has to be tonight that we hook up. But and then when he's like, okay, no, and then she's like, I even ate fudge, and he's like, okay, no fudge,
Yeah, I know.
no curtains, and he's like, listing shit. She's like, and she starts figuring out, she's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Are you making a list of all these things? And he's like, honestly, at this point, why doesn't he just like, yeah, I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're not gonna remember anything, and you know what I mean? Like,
That'd be so messed up. I mean, like you're not really loving Phil at this point, especially
Yeah.
in this scene. You're kind of like, okay, this guy's a little bit much. But yeah, if he said that, you're like, this guy's evil, man. He's like, you're not gonna remember anything anyway. It's just like, whoa, who's this devil that we're following?
well, apparently, actually, that was in some of the because the script went through a whole bunch of different like rewrites
Yeah.
and stuff, and early on the tone was a lot darker.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently that was some of the stuff that was in the earlier scripts, like homicide and
Oh,
sexual
really?
assault and stuff like that.
Oh,
And yeah, and then
damn,
we
man.
was like, he was doing messed up. Like that, I think is insane. Like, why would they do that? Like you this has to be a redeeming character. You don't want him to kill people
Yeah, no,
or sexually
100%.
assault people.
Yeah,
That's
no,
not
true.
like you don't have that happen, and then by the end of it be like, no, I realized I was wrong and I love you, Rita. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I know.
No,
No, 100%.
that's not okay.
No, definitely not. Especially like I'm trying to think about like what the justification for killing would be. Like he's
Yeah,
just
I
like, oh, like I wonder what that like he starts getting very primal, I guess. But then it's just like, yeah, the whole movie changes. Like this isn't like
Yeah.
don't release this on Valentine's Day. This is just like some kind of like you can release this later on in the year. This is just like some dark rated R movie or whatever. It's not. I don't even know this wouldn't necessarily even be a family friendly movie. I don't think it really is. It's not a kid like a kid can't watch this movie.
Yeah,
But-
but it's not really. There's not really much in there for kids.
No,
like the-
exactly.
yeah.
But,
But I
yeah,
mean, when it doesn't age super well. Like when they're in the room together and he's like pushing himself on.
that's
her
what I
and, like,
mean. I was like, guy's a horn dog.
Yeah,
man.
it doesn't look great, but at the end of the day, he doesn't do anything
Yeah.
too crazy. But I mean,
Mm.
I feel like with the homicide thing, like if he started killing people, maybe it was just like he really reached that level of like
Insanity.
almost boredom.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
boredom
yeah.
to the point of insanity where you're just
Yeah.
like, man, nothing I do matters. Like I feel like if you have, it's almost like serial killers in real life, right? Like as they say, a lot of times they start off killing like small animals and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and then they like, they're like, oh, it doesn't hit enough, so I have to move up to the next thing, like a bigger animal, and then and then a person, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, whereas in his situation, it might be like, I do this thing and I don't get any joy from it. I don't feel anything from it.
Yeah.
So I have to do the next craziest thing, and then he just goes bigger and bigger and bigger, and then he just starts killing people because he's like, they're just gonna be alive the next day.
Yeah.
So
No,
like,
it's true.
am I really killing someone?
No, it's a good point. I mean, like, that's a good thing about this movie too, because it slowly progresses through all the stages, like you said too. And I think that concept could work, like if someone wanted to structure this in a different way, and you
Mm.
want to like go tap into these like dark, more like grounded and like a little bit darker themes. I think it could work. I don't think it works for this movie though, because
Yeah.
it's supposed to be lighthearted. So it's just like it starts off kind of lighthearted. He's doing all the goofy stuff, and then if it started getting into that, I'd be like, what kind of movie? What kind of movie are we going for here? Like this is like it's kind of all over the place. But
Yeah, that's a
as
totally different movie.
no, it really is. But we do get into the next phase of the movie, which is something that like it's an interesting approach to go with through it, which again, it would be something that's realistic. But when he starts going through his depressive state, when he
Mm.
starts getting sad, like they took it like as far as you could go with it. When he just starts killing himself and just like, oh snap, like we talked about, like the it starts with the small animals. The first killing attempt is with the groundhog.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he thinks that there's some kind of link here. He's like, oh, maybe it's the groundhog. Maybe if I kill us both, I mean, I guess if I kill us both, we're just dead. So I don't think he's thinking,
Is that the first suicide?
I think so.
I think you're right.
He steals the
it is.
groundhog, and then they drive over
He
the cliff.
drives, yeah, he drives over the cliff. Then
Yeah.
they blow up. Yeah, I think
And
that
the
is
second
the
one
first
is
one.
the second one is the toaster oven.
The toaster in the bathtub. Yeah.
Yeah, the toaster oven. Yeah, the toaster in the bathtub, and then
Yeah.
then he just keeps going. He jumps, and then what was the other one too? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Jumps
another.
off a tower or something.
Yeah, which is messed up. The freaking what's his name again? Larry. When they identify the body and he doesn't give a damn, I'm like, damn. He's like, yeah, he was a really, really good. We all liked him. I was like, damn, dog, man's dead in front of you, and you
Yeah.
still.
There was
How
no
badly
reason
did
for
he
that.
treat you? How badly did he treat you? You do
There
not
was-
mess with him that bad.
Like, you didn't have to say anything else to this coroner or
That's-
doctor or whatever. I'll just say like, yeah, that's him. That's it.
Yeah,
You don't have to say if he was a nice guy, if you loved him, hated him. He doesn't care.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, damn, this guy's really showing it how much he didn't mess with Phil. There was another thing too, which I thought was wild too, which I was like, again, it has to do with Larry and Phil when they're like, when he steals the groundhog and goes driving over. I don't know if you even caught that line. Where they're like, who would steal a groundhog? Did you hear what Larry said?
No, I don't think so.
He was like, oh, why would anyone steal a groundhog? He's like, I could think of some ideas, pervert. And I'm like, what? What are you putting on Phil? What? That's crazy.
Yeah, what do you? What? Yeah, what? Like, was he gonna put like peanut butter on his piece? And
That's
then,
what I'm
like,
saying. You think Phil is that down bad? I'm like, pervert. That's crazy.
Man, fucking Larry, dude. Yeah, this guy really doesn't fuck with Phil. His immediate first thought was like, he's gonna do some nasty shit with this groundhog.
Yeah, like I thought like maybe eat him or something, or like I don't know.
Yeah,
Or just
pervert.
pervert. This viewing was the first time I noticed he ever said that, because it's just so like quietly. He's like, I think of a
Yeah.
few things, pervert, and then they just drive. I'm like, whoa, what?
Honestly, he's the pervert for thinking of that.
Yeah, that's what
You know
I'm
what I mean?
saying.
Like, I could think of a few things. Nobody else was thinking that, bro.
Yeah. Someone
Nobody-
steals an animal, that's the first thing your mind goes to.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
fucked.
I could think of a few things you do with an animal. Whoa, what?
Yeah. What would I do with a groundhog? Punxsutawney Phil is a good looking groundhog.
Oh my goodness, man.
You fucking sicko, Larry.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, then we get into so then he finally gives up onto it. This is when we get into the acceptance part of it, where he's just like, he's questioning his existence, because now he's just like, he just breaks into it. He's just wearing his white shirt. He's just like, I'm a god. Like he just says that to Rita.
That was
And
tough.
yeah, no, that was pretty tough.
Because he's like, yeah, I'm a god. He's like, I've been stabbed, shot, poisoned. He was like listing all this shit. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, this is like
Yeah,
the
I know.
intro to a rap song. You know, like this guy's just saying, listing off all this hard ass shit that he's been going through, and he's right here living. And it was pretty cool that he actually like convinced her
Yeah.
in this one that it was actually real.
Mhm.
And then we actually get like a day of them like that was authentic. You know,
Yeah.
like they actually like with have their company together. She stays over with them like super late that night because he's like, man, in the morning you're not going to remember any of this,
Yeah.
and we're going to be right back to normal. But it feels like he actually had a real day for the first time in God knows how long, because
Oh yeah.
they you know, they never say how long this actually is.
Mhm. No,
You
it's
know?
true. Yeah, yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it definitely felt like because like everything before this was kind of just like, all right, we're seeing him go through all these things. Like he's having fun. Okay, now he's depressed, and not like they're all just montages. Like we're just going,
Yeah,
going.
basically.
Now we're just like we're in this day, and it's just like we're actually going through the day. So like, okay, now we're kind of back into like a leveled spot, and it was interesting just to see him. Like, okay, he's like, all right, I've gone through it all. Let me just let me just try a different approach here. And let me try to get someone along to come along with me, because for all of this he's just been experiencing all himself, and like now he's just like, now I got to prove it to somebody too, and he's like, I got all this proof, so it's
Yeah.
like it's very easily for me just to show someone that like, yeah, like this is gonna happen, and it is a little funny thing too where she stays with him until midnight, and she's like, wait, it's the next day. He's like, yeah, it doesn't change till 6. She's like, you didn't tell me that. He's like, he was like, I don't know. Which,
But like,
yeah,
does it happen at 6? Because he wakes up at 6, but like, when does it actually change? You know, like he doesn't actually know. So I guess it's just whenever he goes to sleep. But like, yeah, that was kind of funny. She's like, "What, you never told me?" But I mean, to be fair, in her defense, she's like, she doesn't know what the hell is actually gonna
yeah,
happen, right? She's like, I thought I would like disappear, or I would, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
No, it's a good point too, and it's like that's something that we never, again, and not shitting on the movie. It's just like something that they don't explore. Like the latest we see him stay up when they show the clock is 4 a.m. We never actually see him stay up until 6 a.m. See if he can. Or if it's just like this automatic thing where it's just like, even if he tried to stay up till 6 a.m., as soon as it flips, he just like his eyes would close automatically or something. We never really see that moment. The closest he ever gets is 4 a.m. and then he falls asleep, and then he always just wakes up.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder, like, would he just like, if he's just like out, like, say he was at the bowling alley with those guys, and like they stayed up till 6 a.m. and they're just hanging out, and as soon as the clock strikes 6, he just like spawns in bed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess they didn't want to go that route, but it easily could have. It could have just been like, yeah, that's just what happens. No matter what you do, you're just gonna spawn in bed. They never showed it, which again, it's fine. You don't need to. But I thought that was interesting, where it's like they never showed him like, let me stay up until 6 a.m. see what happens. He just always ends up falling asleep. He always brings himself back to his room, like he does it on his own. He never even tries to stay outside.
yeah. This guy, maybe this is kind of lazy, honestly. He doesn't try enough to break the loop. Like he doesn't. I mean, to be fair, he doesn't know what the hell is gonna break the
Yeah.
loop. But like, you gotta try a whole bunch of shit, dude.
Yeah,
Like you didn't try once to just stay up till 6. That's
yeah, I
crazy.
know. But then we get the next day. So then like that past day with Rita is gone. So then he just tries being nice to people. He learns the piano, ice sculpturing. He hugs Ned, which freaks Ned out. So he's like, all right, this is something I gotta do every day. Let me just keep hugging him and leave me the hell alone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
I like the kind of this montage of him doing good stuff.
Yeah.
Like he saves the kid in the tree, he saves the old man.
But tries to. I don't know if he ever actually does. Because from what we
right.
see, like he keeps trying and then it never works, and then he kind of moves off of it. I don't know if he just gives up, realizes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of weird. I honestly kind of, that confused me.
Mhm.
Like I was like, what? Not just in the sense of like, did he save him or not? More just in the sense of like, why is this in the movie?
Yeah.
Like yeah, I get it's showing that he's kind of a changed man, right? So he's now he's learned that, you know, like I've accepted this and I might as well do good with this power almost.
Yeah.
You know, I might as well do good with it because it's not going anywhere, so I might as well do some good stuff. So he tries to save this old man. He brings him into the diner, gets some food, and he brings him to the hospital. He tries to save him.
Mhm.
And then like you said, he just there's the woman in the hospital that's like it's just his time, he's just gonna die, and then he just like stops.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, it felt like it was in there kind of for no reason.
Yeah, it's just an extra layer, I guess. They just wanted you to show him doing something nice. I'm assuming that eventually it worked, and not that he just gave up, or because the doctor, which was so cynical. Like, I get it. If you work in a hospital, or whatever. He's like, sometimes people just die. I'm like, well, I don't know. It didn't seem like he just died just because. I mean, I think there was some health issues there. Just the way she said it. I guess. Yeah, we don't know how old he is, but he does look pretty old, and he's homeless. So I'm assuming he's not in the best of health. But
Yeah.
But maybe that was the fact where he's just like, you just got to accept it. It didn't come across that way. Like, we didn't see a point where he was just like, you know what? I guess I can't save this guy. And then he moved on. They kind of just stopped showing him trying to save him. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, at least like because then if say at the end of this day, this guy's gonna die no matter what.
Yeah.
And you're reliving this day over and over. Wouldn't you at least get bro like a donut or something?
Well, he was doing that. He was feeding him and stuff like that. Yeah.
He couldn't have done that. Like, he sees him every morning, right?
Yeah.
Before he sees Ned. So like, just give him a donut or something. Like, money doesn't mean anything to you. So like,
yeah,
I don't know. You don't have to do all the work of bringing him to the hospital and feeding him soup and all that work, because you know that at the end of the day he's just gonna die anyway. But at least give him a little something.
No, it's true. No,
what's interesting too is that at the hospital,
yeah,
apparently in the background there's a kid with a broken leg. In one of the beds or whatever, and it's the same kid that he saves from the tree.
Oh, snap! Which is also funny too, because like he saves that kid. He's like, "You've never said thank you once to me." I'm like, "Damn,
that's so funny, bro." Because like, from the kid's perspective, why are you not saying thank you?
Yeah,
it's the easiest thing in the world. Say thank you. A dude just caught you from breaking your leg, falling out of a tree, and the fact that he's like. It's just such a funny concept of like every single day, I come and save this kid, and this motherfucker hasn't said thanks once.
And there's two things with that. One, first of all, that kid was falling straight like this. I think it would have broke more than just his leg. That guy was just flat backing onto the pavement, and somehow he broke his leg. I don't know. And then two, which I find funny, is like he saved him so many times, and he hasn't. And it feels like it's a rush every single time. Like he's just making it and hurting his back. I'm like, Phil, you haven't figured out a better way to get a mattress or something and bring
I was just gonna say, like, bro, at the beginning of the day, throw a mattress down there and then go about your day, and he'll be fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, get a truck, like just steal a truck somewhere, drive there, have the mattress ready, throw it, have him bounce back up. Hey, there you go. This man's straining his back every single day and just making it too.
Yeah, it's cool though, like kind of the montage of good things, because I like the piano lesson that you were talking about. It's funny because we only see it the first time, obviously, but there's the little girl that's at the piano lesson. She's like, she's doing her thing, and then the teacher's like, no, I can't teach you right now. I have a student. He's like, well, I'll pay you $1,000, and so she kicks the girl out. And I'm like, man, this poor girl's getting kicked out every day. Of her. I mean, she doesn't remember it, but like,
no,
damn,
she doesn't. Yeah,
this
no, it's
poor
rough.
Girl, man.
Yeah, that lady switched up so quick to the point where I was just like, you can't. Why don't you double dip? Like, just tell the girl, like, hey, you're just gonna watch me teach this guy and and maybe we'll switch back and forth. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean. In her defense, I mean, like, it's $1,000.
No,
you're not
100%.
gonna say no.
Yeah, I don't know what that girl's parents are paying. So.
Not that.
No,
but
definitely
it's also funny that later in the at the not the dance, but like the big party.
Yeah,
the big party when he's shredding the fucking piano.
Oh yeah,
and then the teacher's in the front row like claps. She's like, "That's my student." It's like, that's not really your student.
Yeah,
like to her knowledge, it's not. Like, yes, it is her student because she's teaching him day after day after day. But like, from her point of view, she just met this guy this morning, gave him one lesson, and she's like, yeah, that's my student. Like, no, that's obviously someone that knows the piano.
Yeah. Because I'm wondering. I'm wondering that day. He's already that good. What did you teach him that day that you think you can take credit for?
That's what I'm saying. No way, bro. Like, yes, at the end of the day, she's right. She actually did teach him all this.
Yeah.
But from her perspective, no. He knew all this. He was already this good.
No, 100%. But
Bullshit.
she's supposed to take credit still. She's trying to get. She's like, give me $1,000. Is he still giving her $1,000? You think?
Oh,
Every single
true.
day?
Yeah, I mean, because he's got to get the little girl kicked out.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking like maybe he realized he can go lower. He's like, yeah, I could probably get like 500. Some days she says five. I say 500. She's good. I'm like, oh, I don't need to do 1,000. But at the end of the day, why would it matter? Like, you got.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money he's got. Is he still stealing this money? Then doing things all around. Because I don't know how much money does Phil have. This guy's doing a lot.
I mean, I mean, he must. The fact that he just had $1,000 cash
That's what I'm saying.
is insane. Anyway, so maybe he is stealing the money. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess they don't want to show it because it's like, hey, he's supposed to be good now. He's like, hey, I'm doing it for a good cause. I don't know. Because he does.
Because the thing is, like, when the loop finally breaks, all the shit that he did in whatever that last day was would have actually been real. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like for again, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but like at the party when Ned comes in,
we're not jumping ahead. This is where we're at. We're at the end. Cool. We're basically at the end. Yeah.
Well, like, so Ned comes in, right? And because Rita buys him at this auction, Ned comes in as they're leaving, and he's like, "Oh, this is the best day ever, Phil. You got life insurance, car insurance, home insurance, like all this stuff." And then the next day the loop breaks, and I was like, "Shit! Now I got to spend like $10,000 a month in all this fucking insurance that I like." The one goddamn day that stuck is the one day that I bought all this insurance from this dickhead. Fuck.
That's 100% what I thought too. I wrote that exact same thing down. I'm like, as soon as the day like the loop broke, I was like, yo, Ned, all that insurance is stuck. Like all the other stuff is okay, fine. I helped all these people. I can live with that. But like, dang, all that insurance I'm paying for now.
I'd be so fucking pissed. Yeah, I'd be so pissed. Like, I just relived this day 1,000 times, or however many times that he did this, and the one fucking time that it sticks is the one time that I bought all this fucking insurance. I'd be furious.
That would have been just like a fun, because it's a rom-com. That would have been like a funny little line where it's just like they're all happy. Like, I think we can live here. And then like Ned calls him and he's just like, dang it. And then the movie ends or something.
Oh man.
And then he's like screams like, yo, can we do this one more time?
Yeah, that's funny. Like, hey, that. Praying to like the gods or whoever. Yeah, whoever did this. Hey, can I get one more redo, please? But then he'd have to do the whole thing with Rita again. But like, no, I don't know, when he's like a superhero, man.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's saving all this. Yeah, the fixing the tire. The ladies that come, because he's dancing with Rita, and they're all coming over like, oh, you saved Buster.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
gave that guy the Heimlich. Yeah, gave that guy the Heimlich.
Well, that is
the
Buster.
Tire lady. Yeah. The tire ladies come by. Oh, you're such a great man. There's also this random woman that says, "Oh, you helped my husband do something." That was something that happened off camera.
And
but
then
all these things, it was great.
There's the couple too, the married couple. What I thought was a funny thing too. He's like, "You got tickets to WrestleMania?" What? I was just like, "What?"
I was like, "How did he do that?
Did WWE pay for that promotion?" Because to me, it's so random.
It doesn't make. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that year WrestleMania was in Pittsburgh or something.
No, I looked it up. Oh,
did you?
Yeah, it was WrestleMania 9. It wasn't in Pittsburgh, so I don't know why. It was like a big thing. It was like, yeah, we wanted to go. I forget where it was, but it wasn't in Pittsburgh. And I was just like,
why? I was like, this is such a random thing. Like, you would think like, oh, tickets to the Steelers game or something.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
That would make more sense. But he's like, tickets to first of all,
it was
how
in
did
Vegas.
He get that?
WrestleMania was in Vegas that year. So it's like,
they were across the country. How are they supposed to get there?
I don't know, man. That's another thing. That's another expense too. Where he's probably thinking like, damn. Actually, WrestleMania tickets back then probably would have been that much compared to the way it is now.
But how would he get them in Punxsutawney?
I don't know. Yeah, that's so true. Like, I don't know what the system, like the online purchasing, like,
was that a thing?
I don't know. In 1993, I don't know. The internet existed, but I don't know if you could buy how easily you could buy tickets. He had physical tickets too, actually. So I don't even know.
Yeah, that's how the hell would they just have WrestleMania tickets in Punxsutawney?
I don't know.
Somewhere, and he's like, you know what? That would make a great gift for these newlyweds.
Maybe there was a contest going on, and he was like, I know how to win the contest. I don't know. There's all these little things. Yeah. What are you gonna say though?
Well, I was just gonna say it's kind of just a little thing that's kind of funny is when the married couple comes and they get excited about the WrestleMania tickets, and then Phil like hugs the girl. and then Rita hugs the guy,
Mhm.
and then the girl gets mad at the guy for like hugging Rita.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Like, well, she doesn't really get mad, but she just
gives
like
him a
gives him a
look.
look and like kind of pulls him away. It's like, you just hugged Phil.
Yeah,
Like,
I
what?
know. And then another wild couple interaction was when Buster and his wife came in and she kissed Phil on the mouth. Thanks
Yeah.
for saving Buster. I'm like, okay, like that's a bit. I think that's a bit much. You can give him a hug, kiss on the cheek, but right on the mouth like that with your husband right there. That's crazy work. I don't care if you saved my
Yeah.
life. You're gonna kiss my wife's
Yeah.
mouth in front of me. What the hell? That's crazy.
And this guy's like a god.
Yeah.
He even said it. He's a god, man.
Yeah,
You have this guy shredding on the piano. He just got purchased for like $600 or whatever it was at the auction. This guy's
Yeah.
like the head honcho of all head honchos. You're gonna kiss my wife? Hell no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whatever, man. But Buster is just thankful, I guess, that he's alive. But I thought that was crazy. I'm like, damn, on the mouth like that. And
Furious.
yeah, at the end of the day, I guess the only thing would just be like, damn, man, that the net insurance is crazy.
Yeah. That was the one thing that stuck with me the most. I was
Yeah,
like,
100%.
that insurance is nasty because he named off like 10 things, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Like this is gonna be expensive as hell, and yeah, he's fucked.
Yeah,
he's fucked with all the insurance. Like he finally gets with Rita, and then he sees the next day. Oh, it's finally the next day, and he's all excited. He's like, we should live here. And now they're having their happily ever after or
Yeah.
whatever. But like, yeah, the biggest thing was like one, the insurance thing, and two, what made the day change? Like,
Yeah.
what was it?
No, I mean, we'll get. I
Rita?
said, I have like leading into one of my awards. I have there's a theory that kind of like ties into that, so I'll get to that when we get to it. But it is a good question. The movie doesn't give you that. It's kind of like I think the fun thing about this movie is that because it's such a beloved movie, and you mentioned it earlier too, where you said, I'm sure there's a bunch of other movies that had the same kind of concept too. And I thought that same thing too, because everyone's always like, when there's a movie that same days happen, everyone always refers to Groundhog Day. Oh, it's like Groundhog Day. It's like Groundhog Day. And I looked it up, and there's no other major movie like that does this concept. It happened in an episode of The Twilight Zone, and there's some books that have done it, but there's been no like big mainstream movie that's done this. So that's why Groundhog Day gets anything's reliving the same day, it's the Groundhog thing. Because there's no other big movie that did this before. Even that episode of The Twilight Zone isn't exactly like that, where it's the exact same day over and over. It's not that same thing at all. Like this movie really took it to the extreme with how many days he went over and over and over. So it's just become the staple of reliving the same day. It's just the movie for it. So that's why it always gets the reference of like, oh, it's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I always hear that. Like, oh, it's the Groundhog Day thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I always heard that. And I think it's cool that they like, because they could have chosen any holiday for this to happen, or it didn't even have to be a holiday necessarily.
No, it's true.
But like the whole point of it being Groundhog Day, where it's like, just because the concept of, a groundhog looks up and is there going to be 6 more weeks of winter? So it's like it has that whole time thing.
Yeah.
It's like, is there going to be this much more time or this much less time? So it just like, I don't know. I feel like it just works.
No,
I feel like
100%.
it ties together nicely.
And like that led me into watching the movie for the first time, because there's a movie called Happy Dead Day, and the concept of that movie is like this girl. It's a horror movie. This girl gets like, she dies on her birthday, which her birthday is Valentine's Day, and she doesn't know why she doesn't know who's killing her, and she doesn't even know how she's dying, but she keeps dying. So the movie's about trying to figure out who's killing her and what's the thing that's killing her. So she keeps every single day. And like sometimes the person just straight up kills her, but there's like this underlying thing that's killing her. And the whole time it's like the mystery of like what's doing it. So, and then in the movie, like when she finally explains to someone like, yeah, we're living the same day, like, oh, it's like Groundhog Day. They even mentioned it, and I was like, oh snap! I was like, I need to watch Groundhog Day, because they mentioned it a bunch of times in the movie. Every time she tells someone like, oh, like Groundhog Day, and I'm like, okay, I got to see Groundhog Day, because like that's the OG of that. And there's been other movies. Edge of Tomorrow's like that too. I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know it's the same concept.
That's the same.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple other movies that are like that too. Palm Springs is another one. There's a couple, and I'm sure they probably reference Groundhog Day into that too, because it's a comedy. So they definitely probably be like, this is like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
But
where's Bill Murray at?
Yeah, exactly. But you have any final thoughts on the movie before we get into like
I just got one more
facts?
fact. That the original ending in the script had him break the loop,
Mm-hmm.
he would confess his love to Rita, and then she would reject him and get trapped in her own loop.
Oh damn.
Yeah. And so like, again, how the hell does that work?
Yeah.
You know, not how does it work, but like, why does this happen? Like, they're just, the rules are so vague.
Mhm.
But like, so it's like, if these two have to end up together, that's the only way to break the loop, I guess.
Yeah.
But also, it would feel kind of cheap, where it's like, so all this whole movie just went for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, now she's stuck in this loop, or like, I don't know. It just, to me, it just doesn't really make sense. And I
Mhm.
mean, that's obviously why they changed it, but
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting.
No, that is interesting. Yeah, I don't know, like why would she be punished?
Yeah.
If she got to be punished for not liking the guy.
Yeah.
Like for in her eyes, he's just been an ass. So it's like
Yeah.
the only way I can. Well, I guess she wouldn't know what the consequences are. So then she'd be going through the loop, and then she realized, like, wait, I have to get with this guy who I don't like just so I can get out of a loop. Like, yeah, that seems kind of wild. It makes sense why they didn't end up going with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just, yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I just, to me, like, that also, like, or is that maybe like opening it up to a Groundhog Day too? Like, that just, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I don't know. You know what? I have like I got two facts
Okay.
that I thought was kind of interesting. One is just like I didn't know that Canada has our own version of this. We have
Groundhog Day? Yeah. Of
yeah,
course.
like, well, no, in the sense of like we have our own like like we have our own tradition thing. Like
Mhm.
Warrington Willie. You've heard of Warrington Willie?
Yeah, I have.
I've actually never heard of that
I
before.
have.
I
Yeah.
didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know we had our own name for a groundhog, and we had our own like it's not the exact same thing. Like they don't well they do dress up, and it's not anywhere like near like where we are. Like it's a little
Yeah.
more like southern, or like no, I think it's more northern Ontario, so it's a little further from us. But I don't know. I had no idea. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah, I knew it was a thing because I don't know. It just always when Groundhog, they always just mention it, like, this guy, what was his name again?
Oh, Warrington Willie.
Wyerton Willie. Yeah, he came out, but I literally, I never watched it,
Yeah.
but I always heard about it, and like, I literally assumed, like we were talking about earlier, that it was like just watching him and
Yeah.
seeing if he comes out and sees a shadow. But like, this whole, I don't know if it's the same thing as in Punxsutawney that they in Wyerton that they do.
Yeah.
If they like open up these doors and just get him to like whisper it to a guy, there's like, I don't know, this seems like like the whole day, like, obviously there's no merit to it anyways, but like,
Yeah.
it just pisses me off, dude. It just makes no sense.
No.
Like,
I'm with
we
you.
can't talk to groundhogs. That's not how this works, man. Come on. This is just some guy making up whether he saw a shadow or not. This is
It's
bullshit.
for the kids, yo. It's for the kids.
Do the kids give a hell?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good
Did I
point.
just say give a hell? What the fuck?
Yeah, you did. I don't know. I was gonna let it go.
Give a hoot?
Give a hoot. The one thing I don't remember this, and I think at this point, I think I've seen Groundhog at that point. Maybe I just didn't see the commercial, but there was a Super Bowl commercial that was a Groundhog Day commercial. Back
Oh, yeah?
back in 2020, Jeep did a commercial where it starts off the exact same way. The commercial is just like Bill Murray waking up. It shows the 6 a.m. and it's playing the exact same song and everything. And they go like, "Good morning, campers," and he's like, "Oh no, not again." And it's
Oh,
like the whole
nice.
commercial, like, and the whole commercial is like he's going through. He wakes up. He's in the hotel. He sees Ned again. He's like, "Ned." I mean, he's like, "Phil, it's me." And then he's like, "Oh man, not this again." And then the whole thing is like he sees a Jeep and he's like, "Oh, that's different."
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's just smart. And then he's just going through the days with the Jeep, and it's him and the groundhog, and him and the groundhog start driving the Jeep like when they're in the car. It's that same.
Yeah.
They don't freaking like kill themselves, but it's just them going through the days, him driving through a Jeep. I'm like, oh, this is fun.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's
That's
2020 Super Bowl commercial. I don't remember it. It's not that
No,
long
me
ago,
neither.
but
Well, in Canada, we don't
Yeah.
we don't always get the American commercials.
That
so-
is- yeah,
which is
there
too
is
bad
that
because
too.
they're always funny.
yeah, nowadays I just go on YouTube and just see what did
Yeah.
I miss? What were some cool?
Yeah, you just YouTube. Yeah, just search Super Bowl commercials 2024.
Yeah, the
2025.
Oh yeah, 2025. Yeah, true. Oh,
Damn.
it is weird to think. Last thing I have is just a quick little history lesson. I didn't know that initially Groundhog Day was like a German tradition, and it got brought over into the States. So that was like something that they did, and it was like it was like almost like a folk tale, like lore kind of thing, where like oh, the groundhog will do this, da da da, and like that. It was like something all the way back in the 1800s that they used to do. and then it just got popularized. And apparently, like the Groundhog Day movie, like really like made it really popular. Like it was kind of like a really like a thing, but it came like mainstream after like the movie attached itself to it, and it's like okay, this is like a thing. Again, I don't know how big it is nowadays these days. Like it's not actually a holiday. I don't think we get it off anywhere. So I think that's probably part of the reason why it doesn't get much hype.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think it really did then either. It's more like we said, maybe like in Punxsutawney.
I guess, but I think if you actually got the day off, I think then it'd become like a thing.
Oh,
like if
yeah,
everyone got the day off, and like no, if it lands on a weekday, which would be kind of wild. If it's like on a Wednesday, everyone gets Groundhog Day off, so we can see the groundhog. That'd be a little much. But if it was some kind of holiday, or there's some kind of or was around that, then maybe. But
I wonder back in German, you said it was German, right?
Yeah.
German. Yeah, I wonder if they actually had the real like, if he sees a shadow, or if it's still just the BS of them.
No, that's what they said. They said it was that. It's like they actually did look to see the whole
good.
shadow thing. Yeah.
So it was us that messed it up.
Yeah, I don't know why we decided that was a better way of doing it.
Stupid. That's my biggest beef of the whole movie. It is not even the movie's fault.
Yeah,
well, maybe it is. I don't know if in real life if that's how they do it or not. I've never tuned into Punxsutawney TV or did they even televise this? I don't know. I have no idea.
I actually looked on Groundhog Day. I actually looked at it. I was like, I wanted to see what it was, and the same thing. I mean, they're all dressed up. They brought him out, and they said that we're gonna get 6 more. But you know what the weird thing is? This year, Phil said we're gonna get 6 more weeks of winter, right? But Wyerton Willie said that we're getting the early spring.
Well,
so who do I
parts
trust?
Of the world, man. Well, whichever one's geographically close. It's 2 different areas, man. It's not a worldwide thing.
Well, Canada and the States aren't that far.
No, but I mean, but they're big countries, so there's two very still far apart places.
I guess so. In Pennsylvania, they're gonna have more. They're gonna have winter longer, and then we're gonna have early spring. In Canada, it's hard for me to believe.
Just watch. Watch.
Well, there was a snowstorm last night, so I'm looking at a shit ton of snow right now. So I don't know if I believe Wyerton.
So the 6 more weeks. When does that start? Like
I thought it's immediately after that day.
Oh, really?
It? Well, actually, I don't know.
I literally have no clue.
All right, whatever, man.
6 weeks is a long time too. That's a big difference.
It is a big difference.
A month and a half.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn.
But anyway, that's all I got. I think it's time, Scott.
Let's do it. All right, sorry for my cough to mess up the beautiful sound that is the Filmies intro, but here we are. Dion teased it earlier. If this is your first episode, this is welcome to the Filmies. This is our award show that we do at the end of every episode. We have 6 totally meaningless awards that we like to have fun with, and we're going to jump straight into it with our fit check. Best or worst fit of the movie. Who gets your fit check?
So my fit check goes to Rita. And it's funny because I mean this movie repeats itself, so it's like her fit is like I mean I think she has at least 2 fits. There's the fit. Well, I guess it's not really a fit. It's just when they're outside, so she's wearing like her jacket and stuff. But it's the outfit that she's wearing. She's like wearing like a white blouse. She got like a pink vest on. It's kind of like a cream kind of stripes on it, and in between the stripes is she got like flowers going and stuff like that. I think she's got like. I can't tell if they're black or navy because they don't really show that much of it. I can't see her kicks, but I thought she looked fresh. Like the white blouse with a pink vest on top. It was a good look to me.
Okay,
I messed with it.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. What about you?
Mine. I gave it to Nancy.
Okay.
So she's got on the pink jumpsuit, and specifically it's at the ceremony because we see her for the first time in the diner.
Yeah.
But she's inside, so she doesn't have her jacket on. But when she's outside, she got like the pink jumpsuit with a white fur coat over top.
Yeah, no, it's pretty fresh.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was my leading one until I saw Rita's like fit again. I was like, okay, I gotta go. But the Nancy one, that was a close second for me. She was looking fly.
She was
No, that was dope.
So he had to get her high school information so he could pull.
No, that's true. That's valid.
She was looking good.
That's valid.
Next up, we got our Lazy Award, our Ferris Bueller Award. So this is something that someone did inside of the movie or outside of the movie that we consider lazy. What? Who gets your Ferris?
Before I get into my Ferris, I think we should talk about our
Oh,
our honorary Ferris Bueller, because before, this is behind the scenes. Before we started the episode, we were kind of talking about just character names and stuff like that, and we noticed that when we were looking at IMDb, we just want to make sure we didn't get people's names wrong, and
Yeah.
a lot of the characters don't actually even have names. Like they're just like very much what they were doing. Like when he fixes the ladies' tires, all their character names are just like flat tire ladies,
Flat tire lady.
and not even
the kid. We got boy in tree, piano student,
piano teacher.
yeah, fan on street, Phil's movie date. She doesn't get a name. Cop,
Yeah,
piano teacher, neurologist, bartender, groundhog official. Someone's credit is old man. Man in hallway. This is crazy, bro.
like characters that we're seeing every single day. Like why couldn't they get a name? Just like a quick little thing. You know what I mean? Especially with my thing really goes to, again, this isn't my Ferris, but my thing really goes to the flat tire ladies or
Yeah.
lady, because it's like there's 4 of them, or there's 4 or 3 of them.
Three. I think.
There's 3 of them, and it's not even like flat tire lady 1, 2, and 3. They're just all flat tire lady. So when
Yeah.
roll call comes up, I guess they all are always in the scene together. So it's like, hey, flat
Yeah.
tire ladies, come on board. It's just like they didn't give a damn to
The
to
flat
actually-
tire ladies.
And we were saying it sounds like an acapella group or something.
Welcome to the stage, the flat tire ladies.
Yeah, well, that's our
Oh, that's
honorary.
funny.
Maybe that might have stepped on your toes, and then maybe that's your new Ferris Bueller, is it?
No, I'll stick with
Okay.
mine. It's all good.
We just had to mention that, but
Yeah.
mine actually goes to Phil, the reporter, not the groundhog. And on the first day, we kind of talked about a little bit. On the first day, he gets to town, he goes into the shower, and I feel like this is like it's a very much a movie trope. Like, you know, when like they go into the shower naked and then they turn on the water and it's either freezing or it's piping hot, and you see them like their reactions, like, oh, it's freezing, or it's boiling hot. But it's just like, to me, this is it gets lazy, because I don't know about you. Maybe this might just be a me thing, but if I'm going to take a shower, you turn it on, you put your hand under, and you wait for the temperature. I'm waiting. Like
100%.
yeah, like you wait. Okay, it's warmed up. Okay, now I'm gonna get in. What? That sounds like madness to me. I'm not just gonna be in there. I'm getting in there. Could turn it on. It's gonna be cold regardless, because
Yeah.
it's just turning on. You have to put your hand under. So to me, that's just lazy. He didn't
Yeah.
want to do that step. You just turn it on. You feel it out. Okay, now it's getting warm. Now I'll go in. He just went straight in, and he did that multiple days.
Yeah, that's a great. That's not just a you thing. Everybody does that. Nobody walks into a shower and turns it on, because, like you said, it's gonna be cold no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta give it some time to warm up. Like let the pipes clear and let the hot water get in there. Even because he gets mad at the bed and breakfast owner. She's like, oh, there's no hot water. It's like you gave it 2 seconds. Like, just let it warm up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, nobody does that.
Nobody does that. That's all. It's very much a movie trope where it's just
Yeah.
like you'd feel it out first. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I gave Phil my lazy award for that, because to me that's him just being lazy. He didn't want to feel it out first. He's wanted to jump into a shower, which again, I don't know why. What's his rush? And I don't know why we got a montage of him getting in the cold shower, because dog, you know it's gonna be cold.
True. And now that I think about it, when we see the toaster in the bathtub,
Yeah.
wouldn't the bathtub be super cold?
Yeah,
like,
that's
he's
true.
just chilling and cold. I mean, he's doing it to kill himself.
Yeah, I
but
know,
like,
but still, yeah.
you just chilling in cold
know.
water.
I don't know, man. Phil, that you get my lazy award. You get my Ferris Bueller.
Well,
What about you, Sky?
He also gets my Ferris Bueller for something different.
Okay.
But he also got mine because, like you said, it's a repeating day,
Mhm.
right? So any mistake that he makes, if I see him make it again, I'm furious because,
Yeah.
bro, he wakes up and he knows word for word what the radio is saying. Basically, the second day,
Yeah.
like the second day he wakes up, he's like, "Oh, you better, sorry, campers, or wake up, campers."
Yeah.
Like he knows it right away. The second day, but when he steps in that puddle,
Oh, yeah.
he does it 3 times. What the hell are you doing, bro? You know that that's there. You
Yeah.
did this yesterday. Why are you doing it again? That's lazy to me, man.
No, that pissed me off on the second day too. I'm like, dude, like like that would be like you stepping in a giant puddle is not something you forget. I feel like when you're walking in the same area too, like you're seeing Ned again, and like, okay, after Ned, I stepped into this massive puddle. That'd be annoying as hell. Like that's just something you don't forget. Yeah, I don't know.
He forgot it twice because he does it 3 times. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
I don't know, man. It makes no sense. Yeah, that's a very good lazy award because it's just like, come on, Phil.
Both of ours, man. He's just like, you're reliving the same day. You know what's coming. For you to make mistakes just no.
It's infuriating.
Lazy as hell. All right, next we got our Nas Reed Award. So this is our 6th man. So someone with a smaller role, on screen, off screen, that showed out, did the most with their bench minutes, and we want to show some love. So who's your 6th man?
Okay, this is what I've been teasing throughout the podcast, and it goes into because my 6th man goes to the I almost said black bartender.
Okay.
And
I almost gave it to him.
Yeah, he's only in a couple scenes, and like if Phil's trying to impress Rita, like just to give it's that scene, and then Phil messes up, and then he gets right the second time, and then you just see the bartender shaking his head, and like I don't know, the first time I saw it, I just saw it as like, oh, this guy was just like, oh, this little smooth operator over here, this guy. But the second time I saw it, I just put in more like I'm putting podcast goggles on of just like I'm seeing everything, kind of thinking about theories, and I was just like, the way he shook his head to me that time, I was like, is the bartender in on it? I was looking like deep into it. I was like, was he like, this guy, man? This guy keeps like, I took the second time I took the shake as like, this guy, man. I saw you mess up yesterday, and now I see you doing this again. Like I was just like, oh snap. So then I typed in, I was like, yo, what's the deal with the black bartender from Groundhog Day? And there's a bunch of theories like, is he a guardian angel? And I was like, oh snap. I was like, is he a guardian angel? Again, it's just a fan theory. There's nothing going out saying that like, oh, that's actually it. So then I started digging deeper into it, and I was like, okay, the black bartender is a guardian angel, and people are like, yeah, and Ned's the devil.
What?
And like him, the way he treated the thing that started the cycle is the way he treated Ned the first time. And they're like, and then it's just like a theory, and then everyone's like, and the reason that the thing stopped is because he finally signed up to his insurance, because that's the day that stops. He finally signed the devil's agreement, and he's like, and that was his punishment. He treated like Ned like crap the first time, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna put you in this loop. And then he finally signs his the insurance thing. He's like, all right, I'm gonna let you go now. You've gone through all this misery. And I was like, oh snap, that's like a fun little theory to think about. And the bartender being like the guardian angel thing, kind of looking over him, and just like, but then all those are kind of conflicting, because the guardian angel thing would be more so of like, I'm gonna keep watching you and making sure you finally change, and when you change is when I'm gonna let you go. They didn't show if they showed the bartender at the party, then maybe it would have made more sense of like, okay, he's changed, we can let him go.
Maybe he was there and you just didn't see.
Yeah, no, true. Maybe I gotta look close. He's in the background. You just see him like shaking his head again. And then I guess the Ned theory is its own theory of just like, yeah, Ned is the devil, and then he treats him like crap, and then it's only once he signs the paper when he finally gets released, and it's like, okay, those are like the two fan theories of like, because again, there's no explanation, so people try to put their own explanations on it. And it's like, it's kind of like a fun little thing to go into, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's interesting. I never looked at it that way, but it is kind of funny. But yeah, I just gave the bartender my 6th man, just because I thought it was we laughed at it. I thought it was funny just him doing the head shake, but I was like, let me play into the theory and put more on it. He's the guardian angel, so I like the idea of him looking at Phil and being like, I've seen you do this 10 times, dog. You finally got it.
you gotta get with Rita, man. Yeah, you gotta make her. You gotta get her to fall in love with you, dude. This is the only way to break the cycle. And apparently, sign up to a redonkulous amount of insurance. But I mean, the first time he meets Ned, does he really treat him that bad?
He kind of like, he lies to him, and he kind of like pushes him off, I guess. It's not as bad as the punch.
Yeah, exactly.
That bad. That would be a funny thing to think of, like that, if that's the devil, he sucker punched him like that. Just clocked the devil. It's like, damn. But yeah.
Hey. I mean, that's funny because Ned is my 6th man.
Oh, really?
Ned Ryerson, baby. I mean, dude, to me, it's just, again, kind of like we were talking about in the last episode in 1917. Like, this guy has a limited amount of screen time and goes fucking nuts. Like, and as soon as he gets it, he's like, oh, do you remember me? I sure as heck fire remember you.
Yeah.
Ned Ryerson, bing. Like he just like has all these insane quotables, and he's just nonstop like saying 1,000 words, like the play punching him, and like he's just going so over the top dramatic with everything that he's doing. He's just like he has a small role and he goes fucking nuclear with it.
No,
That's got to be my six man.
I'll agree with you that he makes the most of his time, and he's very good in that role. But he's a little too good to the point where he was annoying the hell out of me. Where I was so satisfied when he clocked him. I was like, yeah, finally, man. I'm getting tired of this dude. Ned Ryerson. I'm like, oh my God, enough with this dude. And he's like, Ned? Bang. I was like, oh, perfect. And then also
Phil?
exactly. And then just even at the end when he signs the thing too, and it's just like, and like, oh, you could come with us. Like, oh, don't want to spoil it. He's like, oh, I get it. Yeah. I don't even know what that laugh was that he did. Wow. I'm just like,
see, even your line's funny, man. Come on,
gosh.
yo, Ned is hilarious, bro. Like he's just so ridiculous. It's just so fucking over the top, ridiculous,
man.
And you know what? Actually, ironically, you know, we're talking about the Truman Show. He's basically Truman.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, no,
just over the top. He sells insurance. He's basically just like just a super Jimbo. Like,
yeah, no, it's
like
true.
He's basically playing Jim Carrey.
No, you're 100% right. That is so true. Not as likable for me though. But I still respect the six man because for what he did in that role, it was what he needed to do, and it was perfect. He really lived up to that Ned character. Not forgettable. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know if is Ned even a main character? He's just so electric that it's just like he's one of them. He's probably more in it than him and Larry are probably in it just as much, but he feels like more of the story than Larry.
True.
So I don't know. Like,
and to me, that's deserving of a six man award.
All
man.
right, that's fair. I ain't mad at it.
Because if you think about it, if Ned and Larry both came off the bench at the same time, got the same minutes, Ned did way more than Larry did.
That's fair. 100%. 100%. I ain't mad at it.
But I like yours too. The bartender was great. Honestly, just the nod of him, like, yeah, you're cooking. I loved it. It was great. All right, next up we got our favorite quote. What was your best quote?
So my favorite quote went to Ralph. So it was one of the
Ralph?
Yeah, I know. Right? This is very small. This is I almost gonna give him a 6 man, I guess, because he was so small. Ralph is one of the guys that he was at the bowling alley with when he was drinking with them. Because like Phil's line says like, what would you do if you were stuck in one place every single day at the exact same time and nothing you did mattered? And Ralph, it's just like it's a very subtle line, but I feel like there's a lot behind it where it's just like they meant to put it in there where he's like, yeah, that about sums it up for me. Where it's just like he's not living in a loop, but he's saying, what would you do? And it's kind of just like a telling thing of just like this guy is not living the same day like Phil is, but he's saying that I think it's the last line that Phil says that really makes it that really ties it up, where he's just like being in the same place and doing the exact same thing and nothing you did mattered. And Ralph is saying like, yeah, that's basically my life. I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? Like it's like this really like it's kind of like a sad moment, but it's just like this real moment where like everything's kind of like bombastic and like funny, and sometimes it gets dark. But like that was like Ralph's moment where it's just like it really ties into like the theme of the movie, right? Where it's just like it's like living it's like purpose and like self-serving. You know what I mean? Like this guy feels like he doesn't really nothing he does matters, and that's what Phil goes through in the movie where he's doing a bunch of things like nothing matters, like do whatever you want, and then but it's really about. It ties in the whole thing with like community and like doing things for others. You know what I mean? Because if you think nothing you do matters, but it's the small things that that Phil does in the end of the day that end up mattering the most. All the other stuff that he's doing, it's like, oh, this stuff's meaningless. I can keep doing, I get all the money, get all these girls. It's like, yeah, but even though the day resets, you're still feeling empty. But you doing these things are actually making you feel better. Even though your day's resetting, you keep saving that kid. It still feels good every single time. You get tired of doing all the other things and like doing all the things for you. And I just thought it was interesting, that quote, because it just made me you sit there and you kind of think about it and then start thinking about like the theme of the movie and all that and all that stuff.
Damn. Very profound, man. I never even thought of that. Like, you're right. It's such a small line and so quick that like, but it does, like when you break it down like that, it makes sense. And you're totally right that like the whole theme of the movie of like, because it's true when you're doing the same thing over and over, and yeah, you can do exciting, you can get with different girls, or you can steal cars or steal money and do all this fun, crazy, wild stuff. But it would all lose its lust after a little while, right? Like
Yeah.
you get with enough girls, or
Yeah.
you would steal enough money, or you would do enough crazy stuff that, like, whatever, I've kind of done it. But like helping people, I feel like that doesn't really lose its impact, right?
No,
It
for
feels,
sure.
it would feel good no matter what every single time you do it.
And like he keeps expanding on it too, where it's like, I'm sure helping, like if he just kept helping that kid, I'm sure it'd always feel good, because it's like, yeah, I saved this kid. This kid is not going to be hurt anymore. But he's like, I want to help this kid, but I want to help more people, because I want to get that feeling of getting like an appreciation. I don't think he's doing it in a self-serving way. I think he's just thinking more so like, I'm seeing these people going through these rough things, like I want to help them. It's gonna make me feel good. I don't even really care. Because it even goes to the point. That's probably a smart line where they put that. And he's like, "You never thank me once." And he keeps helping him regardless. He's not even doing it for the thanks. He knows that kid's not going to thank him. I don't know how many times he's done it. He knows he's not going to thank him, but he still is going to do it anyway, because he's like, it's going to make me feel better to knowing that that kid is saved. Because now I know this kid's going to fall. I can't go through my day without saving that kid, even though he's not going to thank me. I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
That's very, yeah. Hey, I like it. I like it a lot. That's a really good quote, and very deep, very profound. And I did not go in that direction.
That's okay.
At all. I just
you
picked
don't have
something
to. Yeah.
basically it just brought out the biggest reaction in me. And it's not even that it made me laugh so much. It was more just like a reaction. So basically, I gave it to Larry, and it's the truck scene when Phil steals the truck with Phil with like the groundhog Phil.
Yeah.
And so he drives off the cliff, and then the truck lands upside down.
Yeah.
Off like a 50-foot cliff.
Yeah, I know.
And Larry says he might be okay. What? No, he's not okay. What are you talking? I mean, and then it blows up, and then he's like, okay, yeah, now they're not okay. But
before that,
before the explosion, they were 100% dead. There's no chance that they survive that, bro. Like, if it landed on its wheels, maybe they would have broke some bone. Well, they would have.
No. If it landed on its wheels, no.
But I could guarantee that because it was upside down, like they landed on their head after falling like 50 feet in a truck. He might be okay. What are you talking about?
Definitely not.
Not a chance, Larry. What are you saying, bro?
No, that's good. That line got me again this time too. I was just like, it might be okay. Boom. Yeah, maybe not.
I was just like, he said he might be okay. I was like,
not a chance.
Well, that's not true.
Not a chance.
Well, that's simply not true, Larry. I mean, maybe you're saying it to try and like
cheer up Rita.
Like maybe soften the blow to Rita, or be like, you never know, maybe they're all right, or
definitely
I don't
not.
know.
Definitely not.
No, they're cooked, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. So, but yeah, your quote's maybe a little bit better than mine.
No, that's it.
Just two different things. I guess
that's two different things. Yeah, two different appreciations of a quote. We've had that a couple of times too.
Oh yeah,
you've picked something deep, and I'm like, I just picked something funny. I feel like an ass.
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter.
No, but it's a funny contrast.
Yeah,
for sure. But hey, no, it still works. But I like your quote.
Have you seen that video of Denzel's two sons? They're doing this like movie library closet thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know. I haven't seen. I know what
it's
what you're referring to, but I've never seen the clip.
Okay, well, it's one of them is like, man, one of the things I love so much at film is artists and dialogue, and you have Spike Lee in this, and you have this person here, and then with these two movies they contrast so well, blah 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 blah. And then John David Washington comes around the corner and is like, Spike Lee box set, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, man, the two very different film fan approaches, and that's exactly what we just did. It's great.
No, it's 100%. It's great. Yeah, it's perfect balance. Yeah.
We do it often. It's great. Okay, best scene is our next one. What was your best scene?
All right, so my best scene is the scene when he finally comes to the realization after all the attempts of killing himself, and he's just like, I'm a god. He's like, maybe like, he's like, yeah, I'm a god. And it's like, to me, the initial reason why I like the scene is just satisfying, Because like to me, the most frustrating thing as a viewer when you're watching a movie is when your character that you're following is going through this something. It doesn't have to be the same day, but they're going through something, and like nobody believes them. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
let's say there's like a talking Smurf or whatever, and it's like, man, these Smurfs won't leave me alone. And then every time someone walks in the room, the Smurfs disappear. Like, yo, I
yeah.
swear they were just here. It's like, okay, buddy. It's like, oh my god, like, and it happens like a bunch of times. And then to me, it's just like this guy really is living the same day. He's been living it for like who knows how long. And then when someone's doubting him, I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, can someone believe him already? And like this scene's satisfying because he gets to prove it. Like, yeah, I know this is gonna happen. That's gonna drop. This person did it, and she's like, oh, okay, I believe you. And it's like, okay, now he's not alone during this, and like he's not a crazy person. That's just like, oh, I think you need to get your head checked, because that was the beginning of the movie where I'm like, okay, when is someone gonna get on board with this? And the only annoying thing would have been is if he had to keep doing that every single day. They probably wouldn't show that. But
Yeah.
I also liked it too, just because it was as you were talking about, like in the beginning, it's just nice that we got all these phases. Because I remember when I first watched this movie, I didn't think we'd get to that phase where it's just like him questioning if he's a god. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. You would. Like if you're going
Yeah.
through all these days where you're living the same day, and then you also realize you can't die, and then you're like, maybe God is just someone who's just like, he's not all knowing. He's just been living the same day all the time. He just knows everything because he's been living
True.
forever. And
Yeah.
it's just like, it becomes like this spiritual thing where it's just like, oh damn, I know we're gonna go here in Groundhog Day, in a
Yeah.
Bill Murray like comedy romance movie. I didn't know we were gonna go here. So like, I remember I just really liked that scene because yeah, him just questioning it all was like, oh, it's interesting. Like, is
Yeah,
he?
because you would start to question. You'd be like,
Yeah.
"Why is this happening to me? Like,
Mhm.
what is going on? Like, I don't understand. Like, this isn't normal,
Yeah.
right? And like, why me? Like, what
Mhm.
did I do for this to happen? Am I a god? Yeah, you're totally right. I like that we get that too, and
Hey,
that
let's
is my best scene
go.
as well for a lot of the same reasons that you said. I honestly I thought it was cool, just like it was pretty tough when he was just
Oh,
spitting and be like, "I'm a god."
yeah.
Like I'm not the god, but
Yeah.
I'm a god.
Yeah.
And then he's telling her, he's like, "Oh, I know the waitress. You wanna see Paris and you wanna
Mhm.
do this, and then these two are newlyweds, but she's getting cold feet and this,
Yeah.
like he's just explaining all this stuff to her, and she's like, "Whoa, wow, you actually do know all this stuff." And I actually really enjoy that day. Like we spent a lot of time in that day because like you mentioned before, a lot of the other stuff is just kind of like montages.
Mhm.
We see little bits and pieces of every day, but this one we kind of get the full day
Yeah.
of them spending it together, and it feels really authentic and
Yeah.
real, right? He's like, okay, this is someone that actually believes me and knows what I'm going through right now. So like the conversations that they have when she's laid up in bed with him the whole night, they really feel like the emotions that he's going through are real, because everything else, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
He's like, everything that I feel, everything that happens, nothing matters because it's just going to be reset tomorrow. This
Yeah.
one feels really legit. She understands what I'm going through a little. She actually believes me, understands what I'm going through. They kind of develop kind of a real connection in this scene, and I think this is a turning point for his character too, because I think that he really starts to think that maybe he does like her
Yeah.
in this scene, right? He's like, man, maybe I actually do. Like he enjoyed staying up with her. He was saying, he's like, you can go to sleep. I'm not gonna touch you. I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything crazy. Like he develops a real respect for her, and he's like, man, I actually really do like this girl. So I thought it was an important part of the movie, and a cool scene, just like at the start of it, with them two in the diner.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's both our favorite scenes for a reason. And
Yeah.
you elaborated on it, like expanding on it, why it's such a great scene even more. And all I can do is agree because I picked it too. And it's just it stands out to me so much in that movie, because especially just the contrast of like we were saying, like everything building up was like, oh, we're getting a bunch of montages, and now we're in this day, and it's
Hmm.
like it showed the importance. Like this is an important day throughout the movie because like he's gotten to this point, and then yeah, we get that full day with her, and like you said, it feels more um yeah, he actually feels genuine at this point. He's not trying to pull
Hmm.
any tricks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
because all the tricks before, he's like, okay, I got to get her ice cream. I got to get
yeah,
her drink right. I got to know this French poetry. I got to know all this
exactly.
stuff. This is just these two talking to each other and developing a real connection. So,
Yeah.
all right. Last but not least, we have our MVP, the most valuable player. Who gets your MVP?
So I was going back and forth with this It was either between Bill Murray was my honorary. I didn't end up giving it to him. I talked about how great he was in this movie because in the end I didn't pick him, so I wanted to at least give him love for that. But I gave it to Harold Ramis, who was the director slash writer, and it's when I really enjoy a movie because I really like this movie. So I feel like when you're the writer and the director and I really like the movie, I'm always gonna give you some love, especially if I start like looking into it. And we talked about how like he put in the phases in there because the script was different. I watched an interview. He talked about the script was like very different, and he added his own elements. And I did the like got at the beginning and changed how it was gonna end, and they kind of worked on all that stuff. So I think the final product was great. I really like that arc that we talked about of like acceptance, the the denial first, obviously, and then the acceptance, him having some fun, going through his desires, the depression state, questioning who he is, saving people, helping people, and I thought it was interesting too because he's Jewish and he didn't actually mean to really like have all these like kind of like religious like elements to it because he talked about how later on like he's talking about the monk community, the yoga community, Christians came up to him, they're like, oh, I really like how you had that whole thing, like, you know, good deeds, you help people and good things come like towards you and like that kind of thing, like those kind of elements. He's like, didn't try to make it like that, but I guess maybe just having his religious background for being Jewish, that was kind of like just ingrained in him, like a theme of like, yeah, you do good things and like you help others versus being self-serving, you know, like don't be greedy, like you know, all those kind of things. So he realized like how much like how such a strong impact it had, and he wasn't even trying to do it. And I just thought it was interesting because like as we were talking about the I am a god scene, and I was also talking about a lot of the underlying themes. I just thought it was they were kind of like slipped in there in such a positive way where there wasn't like a person that came up to him and be like, you see, when you do good things you know what I mean, like they didn't do like some corny some corny shit like that. It's just like the
Yeah.
themes are there and you see how his actions, you assume that's what break the curse, his actions, and it's like no one says it to you. It's like he
Yeah.
goes through all the bad stuff, he's doing all the bad things, he starts being good, and then good things happen to him and the curse is broken, and like no one spells it out for you. There's the bartender isn't the guardian angel that says it. Hey, yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
is.
yeah, he is.
Yeah, he
doesn't-
is.
But we don't see like a moment where you just like he's suddenly pouring a drink. He's like, "Hey, you did it, Phil," and then you see him fly away into the distance or some shit. You know what I mean? Or you don't see Ned be like, "No," and burning to the ground or some shit. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have to do all that stuff. He didn't have to make it all campy. He just
Yeah.
put the themes in there, and then so I had to give him some love for that.
Nice. Yeah,
R.I.P.
no,
too. R.I.P. He passed away. So
Oh, did he?
yeah, he passed away a while ago, 2014.
Oh.
Yeah, he never even got to see
Well.
the Super Bowl commercial. The way they
Oh.
yeah,
damn.
unfortunately. I mean, he's the one that directed Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I saw they worked. They worked together for a while, but then they also apparently were like beefing on set a lot, like Bill
Oh,
Murray.
really?
Yeah,
Like during this movie?
Yeah, well,
I didn't
maybe
hear-
not beef, but more like
Butting
creative
heads,
differences.
butting
yeah,
heads,
it's-
yeah,
which
yeah.
is normal. Like,
Yeah.
that happens. But yeah, I mean that's pretty interesting. And I
Mhm.
mean having him, I like that you picked him. I mean, writer director is if it's a movie and you like the story and you like the way it's laid out, the way it's structured, then like that makes sense. A lot of times, you give it to the writer, and the fact that he directed it too just adds more to the value
Yeah.
for the most valuable player. Nice
Yeah.
pick.
Thank you. What about you, Scott? Who's your
Mine,
MVP?
yeah, I wasn't sure who to pick either, but I gave mine to third act Phil Connors.
Okay.
So Bill Murray's character,
Yeah.
specifically in the third act,
Yeah.
because this is the guy when he becomes Superman. So
Yeah.
he saves the kid in the tree. He fixes the tire every day. He saves the guy from choking. He fucking shreds that piano.
Yeah.
He was doing work in that party.
Yeah.
He's ice sculpting. He's winning snowball fights. This guy's a legend. He's a god.
Yeah.
This guy is a god. Are you kidding? He's my MVP just because he's him.
Yeah. No, it's good. That's a good pick. And you know what's funny? I think you mentioned this two times. I think you mentioned the Superman thing, and Ramis actually mentioned how he used Superman as inspiration. Because,
really?
Because he had like a funny line where he was just like, he's like, yeah, like if he's living the same day, and he's like, we basically make him Superman at one point because he's like, he said something that was kind of funny to me. He's just like, if you were Superman, he's like, I don't understand how he even has the time to talk to Lois Lane. Like you can save everybody at every single moment. That time you're wasting flirting with Lois, pretending to work at a freaking newspaper place. There's someone falling from a tree. There's a crash happening. It's like, if you were that dedicated to saving, you'd just be saving 24/7, like constantly just go, save. So he's like, let's have him go through that Superman phase. Now that's what they called it. He called it. He's like, that was his Superman phase of just like, let me just try to save everybody.
Yeah.
So I thought it's funny.
And that's what he did. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not the MVP, man, I don't know. I mean, that's the MVP in the world of this movie, but the MVP of the movie itself is probably your pick.
Yeah.
But
No,
again, two different ways.
We've never done it like that. Now, I might have to mess around with that next time. Do like an act. This person was an MVP in this act. I don't think we've done that before. It's a new.
Yeah, I don't know if we have either, but hey,
no, I like it.
That's why I like the Filmies so much, is just because we can get creative with it. Because we made them up. We make up the rules. We contradict ourselves all the time. It's just a fun way for us to get creative and have fun. So like
100%.
It's great.
No, that's great. Do you have any final thoughts?
No.
No?
I'm
good,
man. Go Birds. Go Birds.
Here we go. Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Wait, you want the Chiefs to win?
No, I'm just messing.
So why are you hating?
I'm a
hating?
hater. I'm a hater. My team sucks. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening as always. You can connect with us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at The Film Room Pod. Hit us in the DMs, the comment sections, reply to stories. We'll answer. Like we talked about the movie recommendations, like opinions, awards. If you thought you had a better scene, better MVP, whatever it is, you messaging us. This is where I was gonna shout out Scythedon, or I think that's
I don't know.
Scythedon. Yeah,
shout to you, bro.
Yeah, we talked about the beginning of the episode, and if you want to give us recommendations, 100%, we love getting recommendations. Small movies, big movies, whatever it is that you guys should check this out. We appreciate all of it. We love connecting with people.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, exactly. And then hey, if you want to give us a review, if this is your first time listening, because if you're first time, we don't expect you to give us reviews. But if you've been rocking with us for a couple episodes now, here's with the 5-star review. We'll read it on the pod too. 5 stars only. 5 stars only.
5 stars only. Yeah.
And
that's facts.
To close us off, campers, I want to say rise and shine. And don't forget your booties, because it's a cold one out there. And peace out.
Go Birds.